What's up, my fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets with Rob. Welcome to another live stream during the Mets game, Mets versus Pirates, game one of a long day of baseball with the doubleheader today with Chris Bassitt on the mound in game one and Jacob DeGrom in game two. Today is officially the first day the New York Mets have not been in first place by themselves since April 12th, 145 days ago. And it comes down to the fact that the Braves played 750 baseball from June 1st. The Mets played 650 baseball since June 1st. It's not because the Mets have collapsed. I think a lot of Mets fans got to get that out of their head. You got to get it out of your head, guys. It is not a collapse. If you do the math, if one team plays 750 baseball and another team plays 650 baseball, that's a 10-game difference in wins. It's not because the Mets went 2-20 in the month of August. They didn't do that. You have to understand what a collapse is. 7 games with 17 to go. That's a collapse. It's not a collapse, ladies and gentlemen. And let the Braves play narco after the Mets lose a ball game. Let them play narco when Contreras comes up. Let them continue to troll the Mets. They can continue to do that, but they're not. They were World Series champions in 2021. They are not World Series champions in 2022. As much as everybody wants to believe they are, they're not. And they're better considering the fact that they played better baseball over the last 3 months, considering they played at a historical level for the last 3 months. But on paper, the Braves are better than the Mets. But that doesn't mean anything when you play them in the series, right? How many times have the Braves beat the Mets this year in the series? Once. That was the last series they faced, right? So, right, the Dodgers are better than Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh beat the Dodgers 5 games out of 6, right? It comes down to the fact who plays well in that series against each other. Just that simple. Geraldo, it's not a collapse if they don't win the division because they're 10 games up in the wild card. So it's not like the division is the only way this team is making the playoffs. You gotta relax and understand exactly what is going on with the Braves. This is more about the Braves than it is about the Mets. And I think too many people are focusing in on the Mets collapsing. They're not. The Mets, since June 1st, are playing 635 baseball. The Braves, 750. Do you know how historical that is? Only 4 teams in the last 27 years have played 750 baseball since June 1st in Major League Baseball. That's it. That's historically how good they are. And if you look at the percentages of 750 ball and 635 ball, 635 to 650, depending on where you want to start on the dates. I started at June 1st. That's why I said 650. From June 10th, they've been playing 635 baseball. But if you look at the percentages, 750, 635, that is a 10 to 11 game difference in the standings. That's not saying the Mets were bad during that stretch because they haven't been. You know what? There's a lot of games like last night. Like, do the Braves look like the best team in baseball or the best team better than the Mets? Look what they did against Oakland yesterday. They could have easily lost that game yesterday as well. So, they should have won 10-0. There was Braves fans commenting on my channel last night saying, wow, we should have lost that game, but we won. So, they gave up 9 runs against the Oakland A's. So, and that was against Wright, who has been one of their better pitchers in the last couple of months. So for the team that everybody thinks that is just going to win the World Series just again, they give up 9 runs to the Oakland A's as well. And for the same reason why I said this yesterday during the game, Steven, that's the excuse you're going to use that, when the heat rises, the runs are going to score? No, aren't the Braves supposed to be 100% better? right? You should have won 10-0, right? No, you didn't. So, and don't get me wrong, it's excellent to see when it comes to the Braves that they still won a game like that. But there are the same team that gave up 9 runs to the Oakland A's team. I don't want to hear about heat rises. It's hot everywhere in the country. So that's idiotic to say that. But let's be honest, and this is what I said yesterday when it comes to Steven, it doesn't matter because around the country it's been hot. Have you checked New York over the last 2 weeks? It's been extremely hot. There wasn't a lot of runs scored in the Mets and Dodgers series. Look, it comes down to Wright didn't pitch well yesterday. It's just that simple. The middle relief of the bullpen didn't really help the Braves that much either. And then Jansen finally looked like a closer yesterday. And that's another thing that I have to say when it comes to why I'm not too concerned about the Mets. I know Scherzer, if you haven't heard, Max Scherzer went on the IL, which I assumed was going to happen. I didn't think he was going to make his next start anyway. But it's retroactive to Saturday. Again, they still have to hit the ball, Steven. I watched the game too, but they still had to hit the ball. So if you don't hit the ball's not going to fly anywhere. And, okay, the Braves scored 10 runs yesterday. The Oakland A's scored 9. It's hot everywhere. I'm sorry. And it's still the fact that we've been in the 90s in New York for the last 2 weeks, except for this week. So I don't want to hear about the ball's been flying. You still got to put the bat on the ball. So you telling me the heat is preventing the slider from breaking? This ain't Colorado. All right, the curveball is breaking. The fastball is going at 96 to 100 miles an hour on all these pitches. It doesn't matter. If you're a starting pitcher and you give up more than 5 runs, you didn't have a good day. I don't care who you are. So, and then this is what I talked about yesterday. The reason why I'm not concerned about the Mets is because of the fact that they've been playing 6:35 to 6:50 baseball, depending on which date you want to look at. And that's not a collapse. When the Braves play 7:50 baseball, that's insane. Historically insane baseball. Okay, again, who cares about the weather? Like, I don't see everywhere around the country. They're not the only teams playing in California. I mean, I just don't understand. So, everybody, all the Mets fans that wanted to shake up in the lineup, you got it today. Now, is that going to change anything? Probably not. So, if the Mets scored 10 runs today, you're going to keep the lineup this way? You're probably not. All right? I hate Alonso batting second. I don't like McNeil batting fourth. I think it's stupid. I think it's a panic move, and that's exactly what it is. Now, you could say who made the panic. I don't know if it's Buck. I don't know if he's just trying to change something up. I'm not sure. But the bigger difference is that the team is not hitting. And lineups go into slumps. Lineups get hot. Basically, that's it. If the pitching was the major problem with this Mets team, I'd be a lot more worried than I am right now. Because at the end of the day, the Mets are still in first place. Like, I think people forget that. And they got a 10-game lead in the first wild card. So they're not falling apart. They're not collapsing. The reason why 07 was a big collapse was the fact that there wasn't a step into the wild card in 07 that we had to lay our backs on in 07. It was the division or nothing. Because the wild card was already taken by a team that had a better record. That was it. Do I think the Braves are better than the Mets on paper? Yes. But I still think if everybody's healthy, if you want to talk about that, because I'd rather play a team, I'd rather play the Braves 100% healthy, and I would hope the Braves would want to play the Mets 100% healthy. If healthy, the Mets have a better closer than, and let's be honest, do you want to go into the 9th inning of the playoffs with Kenley Jansen? Because I sure as hell don't. Scherzer is going to be out. It's retroactive since Saturday, so he'll probably miss 2 starts. Definitely 1. They didn't say necessarily 2, but it could be 2 starts. But again, it's still not about the Mets pitching. Every time the Mets put somebody else in, if it's Trevor Williams or David Peterson, they've performed well. It's not the pitching that's the problem. It's the hitting that's been the problem. We've lost a lot of 3-2 games, a lot of 2-1 games. We lost 7 men left on base in the first 4 innings yesterday. Alonso left on 4 with 2 double plays. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, and I think people tend to look at the fact, oh, this team's better than this team. What does that really matter in the playoffs? Braves fans should know that more than anybody last year. You weren't better than the Dodgers, but guess what? You beat them. You weren't better than most of the teams in the playoffs last year, but guess what? You won the World Series. The Nationals scraped in to the playoffs in 2019. They won the World Series. Did anybody think they were going to win the World Series? No. It's not about who is the best team going into the playoffs, because if that was the case, then the Dodgers and the Yankees should win every year. We shouldn't even play baseball, right? Because every year the Dodgers and the Yankees are 1-2 favorites to win the World Series. Every year. Every year it's that way. Even the Braves winning the World Series last year, they weren't even number 3. They were number 3 in World Series odds favorites. What does that tell you? That tells you that Major League Baseball is like the NHL playoffs nowadays. You make the playoffs, you have an opportunity to win the World Series. Excuse me. Now, I do think winning the division, the NL East, puts you in a better bracket, so to speak, when it comes to you don't have to face the Dodgers until the NLCS. You probably don't have to face the Braves until the NLCS when it comes to the Mets winning the division. Now, if the Mets don't win the division, they're going to get into that bracket where they'll be possibly facing the Dodgers in the NLDS if they get through that wild card round. But I think people forget as well, you're playing 3 games. It might be against the Phillies. It might be against the Padres. It depends. It might be against the Cardinals or the Brewers, depending on who wins the Central. We still the seedings are hard to figure out yet since the wild cards are so close. But we do know that the Mets are going to get 3 home games in a wild card series because that's how it's going. And I think people tend to forget that the Mets still have the season series against the Braves. I think people forget that as well. So why haven't the Braves won more games against the Mets if they're supposedly better? I just don't understand that. So when you say, the Braves are better than the Mets, well, yeah, if you look at the records over the last month, of course you're going to say that. But nobody was saying that the Mets were the Mets better than the Braves in May. Yeah, but you can look at every month and say, the Braves are better in June. The Braves are better in July. The Mets are better in August, or whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter when you get to the playoffs. All that matters is when it comes down to it, and you can just look at the Dodgers series and the Mets series as an example, right? The Braves have a 500 record against the Phillies. Aren't the Braves better than the Phillies? Why haven't they beat the Phillies more? The reason why the Mets have been in the lead in the NL East this entire year is because they've played better against the Phillies than the Braves have. And you got 7 more games against the Braves. Oh, by the way, you just started your West Coast trip. Be careful with that. Braves fans are getting extremely cocky, just like Met fans got extremely cocky a month ago. Be careful when you get cocky because you're playing a Seattle team, and that is one of the better teams in baseball over the last 2 months, and a Giants team that is not just a cakewalk either. So be careful what you wish for, Braves fans, because you're on a West Coast trip in September. That's not an easy trip for anybody. I don't care how good you are. And as good as the Braves are, they barely won that game yesterday. Jansen actually showed up as a closer yesterday. And when it comes down to a playoff, if everybody's healthy, if the Dodgers are healthy, Braves are healthy, Mets are healthy, and let's throw in the Cardinals as well, because the Cardinals have been one of the best teams in baseball in the second half. And let's throw them in there. If everybody is healthy, and I'm talking about rotations, bullpens, lineups, if everybody is healthy, if you talk to a Dodger fan, they think they have a better lineup than everybody in baseball. If you talk to a Braves fan, they have the best lineup in baseball. I tend to agree with Braves fans. I think their lineup is one of the best in baseball. But they have the most strikeouts as a lineup in baseball. And I think that will come to its ugly head. You see, last year, and I think Brave fans forget this, you had Freddie Freeman, you had Jorge Soler, you had two of those guys that weren't strikeout guys. Soler didn't strike out almost at all in the playoffs. Freddie Freeman never strikes out. So you had two guys in your lineup last year during that World Series run that did not strike out. That's a huge deal. When you put the ball in play in the playoffs with the pressure on, things happen. And that's why Soler was the MVP in the World Series because he hit all those home runs, but he didn't strike out. They didn't strike out, the Braves lineup, as much as they did last year. And a big part of them not striking out last year was Acuna wasn't in that lineup because Acuna strikes out a ton. And if you look at the Braves, they strike out the most out of all the good teams that are playoff caliber teams. They strike out a ton. If you strike them out, they're not going to be doing a good job. A season. Yeah, but last year, look at him. I was talking about playoffs, Steven. You got to pay attention. Guys, you got to listen. Come on, guys. You got to listen. And there was too many people yesterday that weren't listening to what I was saying yesterday. You got to listen. Last year, in the playoffs, Freddie Freeman, Jorge Soler did not strike out at the pace they were striking out in the regular season. Once Soler got there, Soler is not a good player. He happened to be good when the Braves got him at the right time. The same thing with Rosario, the same thing with Duvall. Not a lot of people are paying attention here. They're not listening. You got to listen, guys. Come on. I'm not always right. I promise you that. I'm wrong more times than I'm right. But listen, Freddie Freeman, Jorge Soler were the two biggest keys to that World Series run last year, right? Both of them were off your team. Both of them. And, everybody's talking about, Pete Alonso. Who knows how he's going to do in the playoffs? What is McNeil going to do? What is Nimmo going to do? Okay. So what is Matt Olson going to do in the playoffs? Everybody talks about he had no pressure on him in Oakland. Well, yeah. So, you also got guys, Acuna, people forget, Acuna is not the same player. He's not, ever since his injury. And, but Rosario was a big, but I said Rosario when they got him, but Rosario did strike out a lot in the postseason. He came up with a lot of clutch hits, but he struck out a lot. I'm talking about strikeouts. And the Braves are one of the biggest strikeout teams within all the teams that are supposed to be postseason ready or postseason teams. And that's, when you come down to it, you have to look at the overall team. Everybody's talking about which team would you want more of. Well, obviously most people will pick the Braves lineup, but the same thing that can happen. And I like how people want to talk about, the Braves took 3 out of 4 against the Mets. Well, do you want to talk about the first 2 games and why Walker and Carrasco left the game in the second inning? Nobody wants to talk about that. And then game 3 and 4 were extremely close because the Mets actually had their starters in. And I think the Braves are going to be one of the toughest outs in the playoffs. And I don't even think it's because of their lineup. It's because of their rotation. Now, I don't think Wright and Morton, I like the veteran leadership in Morton. And I think Strider is one of those guys that has electric stuff. But if you get to him like the Mets got to him at Citi Field, he's a totally different pitcher. If he don't strike out people, he doesn't pitch very well. But he's a great pitcher. It's amazing what he did against the Rockies with the 16 strikeouts. That's an historic number for the Braves. Reed is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And the Mets can't hit lefties anyway, so that's already a problem. But before the Mets and the Braves face each other in the playoffs, there's a pretty good possibility. Now, again, the Braves and the Mets might face each other sooner if the Braves Mets lose the division because of the Blackenhill being as the number 1 wild card. But if the Mets win the division, we won't see the Braves until the NLCS. If that's the case. Because the Braves and the Dodgers will face each other at some point. So I think people need to the biggest thing, and yeah, but that's even you can hit contact. So you know what? The Dodgers had contact, and they still didn't get to. All right, hold on, buddy. Hold on. I'm on the water again, guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, guys. Hopefully it sounds better now. Sorry about that. It was working for a while. All right. There we go. All right, so we got about 10, 12 minutes until game time. I'm going to put up game day right now so we can go over the lineups. All right, so obviously the two pitches. Hopefully everybody can hear me now. Everybody can hear me now? We're good? All right, we sound good. Perfect. All right, so on the mound for game one is Chris Bassitt with his 3.32 ERA, 12-7 with 143 strikeouts, and Dwayne Underwood Jr., 1-5, 4.60 ERA with 42 strikeouts. Sounds like a guy the Mets can't hit. The Mets lineup for today is Brandon Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Pete Alonso batting second, playing first base. Francisco Lindor batting third, playing shortstop. Jeff McNeil getting the cleanup spot at second base. Daniel Vogelbach getting another start at DH, batting fifth. Mark Canha left field batting sixth. Tyler Naquin in right field batting seventh. Obviously, Starlin Marte is going to be okay, but they're going to give him probably a day or two off just to get him back together. Eduardo Escobar batting eighth, playing third base, and Tomas Nido catching bat in ninth, which is very interesting. Is the fact that Nido is catching for Chris Bassitt when James McCann has been catching Chris Bassitt a lot more since he's came back from injury. Bassitt pitches a lot better. He has a full ERA better with James McCann behind the plate than Tomas Nido. But I think the Mets, I think Buck Showalter is trying to get any type of offense, and Nido has been a little bit better with the bat than James McCann. So we will see what is going to happen when it comes to Tomas Nido behind the plate with Chris Bassitt. So with that said, the New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves are tied for first place on September 7th, 147 days. The Mets were in first place all by them lonesome self, but we got 26 games to go, and it's a 0-0 record. The better team will prevail in the last 3 weeks of the season. Month of the season, because we basically got a full month of games, considering the fact that we're going a little bit into October for the regular season. And I do think that the series is the division is going to come down to the last 3 games that the Mets and the Braves face each other. Again, that might not mean nothing considering the fact that the Mets still have 3 games after that and the Braves still got 3 games after that. But I do think it's going to come down to that. Would anybody be shocked if we're either tied or a half a game or a game either way ahead or behind the Braves going into that series? I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know if the Mets are going to mess around with Alvarez in the minor leagues, and there still hasn't been no confirmation of why Mark Vientos was scratched last night from the lineup. Everybody just assumed he was coming up to the big leagues. Some people said that he had a migraine. That's why he came out of the game. Nobody really knows. So clearly they didn't bring him up. So it clearly wasn't him coming to the big leagues, unless there's going to be another move. You know, Scherzer was put on the IL, but Alex Claudio was brought up, the lefty from the minor leaguer came up for the bullpen as well, Alex Claudio. So an extra bullpen arm there. Clearly the Mets aren't bringing up Mark Vientos. Are you shocked? Listen, the Mets had 4 opportunities to bring up Mark Vientos, and remind yourself as to why. First time was between middle of June and July when the DH, Dominic Smith and J.D. Davis, were terrible. Mark Vientos should have came up. They did not do that. 3 weeks before the deadline, when the Mets could have brought up Vientos, see what they had in the kid before the trade deadline, before they made any moves for Vogelbach, Ruff, or Naquin, they could have checked them out, did not do it. After the deadline, after the first week and a half when Vogelbach was playing well, they could have brought him up. And right now, they could have brought him up.
listen, guys, the Mets aren't very, I would say, thrilled or excited about Mark Vientos as a top prospect. It's just clearly, it's obvious. They skipped over Mark Vientos for Brett Beatty when everybody told you that Brett Beatty wasn't ready. Yet they still brought up Brett Beatty. Why is that? One, because Mark Vientos doesn't have a position. His quote-unquote best position is third base, but he's not very good at third base either. So they brought up Beatty when they could have brought up Vientos as well as a backup. But no, they brought up Moreno, who is DFA by the Mets now as well. So we have a top 5 prospect in our system in Mark Vientos, who is a glorified DH. And they still don't want to bring him up when you can use a little bit of pop at the DH spot. I'm sorry. It's just, it's exactly what I've been saying about Mark Vientos and why the Mets should have traded Mark Vientos for a bullpen arm. You could have, you traded J.D. Davis and 3 lower-level prospects for Darren Ruff, excuse me. You could have used that for a bullpen arm. It's just mind-boggling to me why they didn't do that. No, Vogie and Ruff doesn't have. I mean, technically, Ruff is a backup first baseman, but he's really not a first baseman. So, and I'm telling you this, guys, right now, if the Mets don't have in the plans of trading Mark Vientos, this kid will never be up. The same thing with Ronnie Mauricio. Where is this kid? Right? He was on number 1 prospect, then he was on number 2 prospect. Now he's not even on number 3 prospect. Like, I just don't get it. Like, Alex Ramirez is passing Ronnie Mauricio on the prospect list very soon. So that means in 2 years, Ronnie Mauricio went from a number 1 prospect to going to be on number 4 prospect within 2 years. And oh, by the way, the Mets draft class with Jet and Parada is probably going to bump Mauricio and bump Vientos out of the top 5, probably by the end of the year. And with everything said, yeah, but Watts, that's fine. But again, the Mets made that trade, and nobody knows what Mauricio is going to be at the big league level. Nobody knows what Beatty's going to be at the big league level. Nobody knows what Alvarez is going to be at the big league level. We don't know. So I'd rather have a known commodity, and this is why I talk about prospect hugging is a huge problem for a while with this Mets team. I'd rather have the known commodity than a prospect that nobody knows how they're going to perform in the big leagues. I'm sorry. I'd rather have Lindor than Mauricio because we don't know what Mauricio is going to be. Can Mauricio be a star? Of course. But I'd rather have the known player where I can see the stats in the majors and say, those are good players. I don't want to see somebody say, oh, look what Vientos is doing in the minors. He's crushing it. Great. Then why have the Mets bring them up? Maybe he's just not as good as everybody thinks he is. And the same thing that goes for trading for Wilson Contreras, trading for a Trey Mancini, trading for JD Martinez, trading for Josh Bell, whoever you wanted to do, any relief pitcher you wanted. I rather, especially with a team that is the oldest team in the league in the New York Mets. And oh, by the way, number 2 is the New York Yankees. When you're the oldest team and you brought in players that are 32, 33, 34, 37 years old to make your team better, who are guys who won't be on this team in 3 years, you go all in for a Mets team like this year. That's what you have to do. I'm not saying give up Alvarez for Trey Mancini. Did you see what? Does anybody know who the Houston Astros gave up for Trey Mancini? I'll wait. Exactly. Because nobody cares. It's just, you see the Dodgers do it. You see the Astros do it every year. When they needed that extra piece, they got it. When the Braves, when they had no outfield last year, they brought in Duvall, they brought in Rosario, they brought in Soler. Nobody knew that was going to make them a World Series championship team, but they got they added pieces that they needed. When they needed help, they brought people up from their farm system. Even if they might not necessarily be ready, they still brought them up. And it changed their season around. Who knows what would happen if they didn't bring up Harris and they didn't bring up Grissom? Who knows what the Braves would have been? Maybe they wouldn't have ever had that spark. Once again, guys, the lineup and the pitching matchups are going to be scrolling on the bottom just now, and that's where they are right now. Game's going to start in about 5 minutes or so, so hang around, stick around. No, I don't think the Braves were done bringing up their prospects. But you know what? You know what the Braves do that the Mets don't? They actually bring them up and keep them around. Like Brett Baty. Does anybody believe that Brett Baty would be here if when Guillermo comes back and Brett Baty was healthy? Would Brett Baty still be on this roster if Guillermo and Escobar is healthy? No, they would send him right back down to the minor leagues. The Braves don't do that. The same thing with Austin Riley. Do you see the stats of Austin Riley when the Braves first brought him up? He wasn't very good. He was a strikeout machine. He was batting .240, not a lot of home runs. And look what he turned into. Turned into one of the best power hitters in baseball and one of the better players in the National League. That's the difference. You know, the Mets were forced to bring up Pete Alonso in 2019 because he had an outrageously good spring training in 2019. You know, Brandon Nimmo was an afterthought. He's your starting center fielder now. Jeff McNeil, the Mets never wanted to bring him up because he wasn't, quote unquote, a power hitter. But he was batting over 300 in the minors. Finally, with all the pressure, Jeff McNeil came up. So it took an outrage from Met fans on Twitter and everywhere else clamoring about bringing up Brett Baty. Then they finally brought him up, which is amazing. Even the Baltimore Orioles, and thank you for bringing that up. I was just going to bring up the Orioles. With two young stars in their catcher and their shortstop, bringing those two guys up in a pennant race, by the way, in a wild card race for them. It's crazy to me. And you know what? You got Mauricio, who has no spot in this team. Vientos doesn't have a position. You have guys to trade, and they did not do it. And Epler, before the trade deadline, says there's a robust amount of relievers available. That's why he wanted to get Vogel back so early. And then he basically ate his words after the deadline saying, oh, I'm very proud we kept our top 19 prospects. Great. I'm glad they're going to help us in 2022. And who the hell knows they're going to help us in 2023 because we don't know that. We just don't know that. I'm sorry. You know what? Alvarez can be up next year. Great. Is he going to be the difference maker? Who knows? You know, he better hit like he does in the minors because then it's pointless because he's not a very good catcher. And Brett Baty is not great defensively at third base, but it looks like he has a bat. On top of that, you want to talk about anybody else in the top 10 of the Mets prospect? Is anybody going to help us next year? I doubt it. Alex Ramirez is probably not going to be here until 2024. And he's going to be projected to be an outfielder, probably a center fielder. So for everybody, and this is why if you're going to prospect hug like the Mets did, bring the guys up. It's very simple. The Braves did it with Albies. They did it with Acuna. They did it with Swanson. They did it with a ton of players. Bring them up. Let them help out this team. For all we know, Vientos could be one of the best hitters in the lineup. But if you don't bring him up, how are we going to know? It makes no sense bringing up Brett Baty when everybody, even the Mets front office, said, we're not bringing him up. But when the pressure was on and they had no third baseman, they brought up Baty over Vientos. That made no sense. Well, I don't know. See, but at least McNeil can actually play the field. You know, that's the difference. We don't know if Vientos can play the field. Like everything we heard, like the Mets are trying him out in the outfield. Why is that? Because he's not a very good third baseman. That's why they were trying him out in the outfield, and that plan went out in the garbage because he's a terrible outfielder. So he has no position, and he's not a very good third baseman. He can occasionally play first. I mean, he's basically Darren Ruff at first base. But if he hits, he'll play. But then you'll just put him at the DH spot. So I think the Mets didn't think that McNeil was going to hit at all. And the Mets at that time with their front office didn't like Jeff McNeil because he didn't hit for power. That's why they didn't like him. I think the Mets need to be better, to be honest with you. They need to be better front office-wise. I think they're scared to make the decisions to move up the guys. All right, guys, so the game's about to start. You know the deal. I'm going to set up the audio. Listen up. Make sure you guys can hear it, and let me know in the chat if you can. Can you guys hear it?
Yes, sir. And this year, when the Pirates 38 relief appearances, 45 innings pitched.
Well, the Mets do, and they clearly don't think he's ready to come up. They know him better than everybody, but they still don't bring him up. They brought up Baty over Vientos, which all aspects tell you that Vientos is more ready than Baty, but they brought up Baty instead of Vientos. That's the problem, Ken. If the front office doesn't think he's good enough, then Underwood Jr. is pitching for Pittsburgh. See if the Mets can get something started. They left a lot of men on base yesterday.
4 runs in the last 3 games, 7-1 back-to-back losses to the Nats, and an 8-2 loss to the Pirates last night. And Underwood chops one foul, and it's 0-2. Well, this got the Mets to 2 runs behind, and he just clocked this ball. That was way out, line drive.
I agree, Ken. That's why I think Vientos should be up batting DH against lefties and righties. But why aren't they doing that? I don't get it. That's what's so confusing. Come on, Brandon.
Slow bouncer to third. Castro.
And that's a base hit. All right. Infield hit. There we go. Good start. Let's go. Come on.
Hayes, their Gold Glove caliber third baseman today. Castro making his 15th start at third, unable to make that play.
Got to start it off early, guys. Come on.
Well, he had a shot to throw him out.
Come on, Pete.
Nimmo gets an infield hit, and that's how this game begins. Change of plans for the Pirates in that they were going to start the former Brave Bryce Wilson today. They decided on Underwood, who figures to be more of an opener today, and they haven't announced pitching plans for either their vault guy today or the second game starter, so we'll see how that transpires. Meanwhile, it's Alonso trying to break out of a slump, hitting second in the order today with Marte out, and he takes the one away for ball 1.
Well, they shook up the lineup today, guys, so let's see if that changes something. I agree, Ken.
In that 2-hole for Buck Showalter. And so Alonso getting his first
Come on, Pete.
stint in this spot.
Good eye, good eye.
Fastball low, and it's 2-0. Well, due to the injury to Marte, I mean, the Mets have had the 1 through 4. Have had that 1 through 4. Never changed the lineup more than any other team. No one comes close to them.
Alien, not officially. If we win both today and the Braves win, we gain a half a game on them.
Lonzo trying to snap an 0-for-12 spell. And he rips one down the
There we go. That's a base hit. That should be a double. There we go. Good start. Good start. That was the best swing I see Pete Alonso have in 2 weeks. Good start. Come on. Good job. Best swing he had in 2 weeks. All right, my parlay is working. I got a Nimmo hit, Alonso hit. I need a McNeil hit. Mets win, and Chris Bassitt over 5.5 strikeouts. Let's go.
Fastball in, Pete turns.
I think Marte's only going to be out a few games, Steve, because they said he's fine. There we go. Good start. Second and third, nobody out. Francisco Lindor coming up.
This is what the Mets need to do. Start early here, get out in front.
This is what the Mets need to do. They got to get early runs. Come on, Frankie.
Fielder's back, the corner's in, and he swings and fouls off the first pitch breaking ball, 0-1.
Let's hope so, Kyle. Bill, you know what? they did that yesterday, man. It was so frustrating.
Last night, with just 7 hits in his last 42 at bats. And of late, since the Nat series,
I just want the Mets to put good at bats together. They haven't been putting good at bats. And bad pitching, you shouldn't have bad at bats like that.
In his first at bat today, and he takes a cutter on the inside corner for a strike, and Underwood quickly ahead of 0-2.
Well, I think committee, honestly, I think he wanted to change it up. Honestly, he had to do something. You couldn't just leave it the same and think it's gonna just work out. I'd rather him change it than not.
Spotty action of the big
Come on, Frankie.
the last few years.
Oh, I'm officially going to the Giants game, their home opener against the Panthers. My cousin and a couple of family members are going to the game, and they had an extra ticket, so I'm going to a Giant game as a Cowboys fan. Shh. Give them bad mojo. Well, Kyle, we'll see if the Mets can play under pressure. I mean, they've been under pressure before. I mean, a half a game going into a series against the Braves ended up 3.5 games. So the Mets been under pressure. Come on, Frankie. Foul ball, foul ball. Oh, he struck out. 1 out. Not a good at bat by Lindor. And Lindor's another one who's been struggling a lot. Alien, my grandfather. On Sundays, I used to be by him on every Sunday, and he used to watch the Cowboys. And that's how I became a Cowboy fan. Well, that was not a bad at bat by Lindor. You can't strike out in that spot. But Jeff McNeil, one of the better hitters in this lineup, see if he can get done. Well, a 12:35 on Wednesday, and school is back, so I'm not surprised. This is a makeup game, so I'm not surprised. Come on, Jeff.
So now second and third, 1 out.
It's one of the best stadiums and the best areas around with all the restaurants and bars. It's great. And listen, if I'm a Pirates fan, I wouldn't show up either. They get all their good players. Like, is anybody be shocked if O'Neal Cruz in like 4 years is going to get traded? Probably. Come on, Jeff. Infield is in for Pittsburgh.
Chops one foul at the plate on that changeup, and it's 0-2.
They're pressing right now. You can tell.
Third time in 4 batters now. Underwood has gotten ahead 0-2.
Yeah, Heinz Field is right next. It's right across the bridge. But it's not Heinz Field anymore. It's something else.
This is usually where Jeff gets to be a tough out.
Come on, Jeff.
For most of these Met hitters, it's their first look at Dwayne Underwood, who's never faced the Mets before. And their first look at that changeup, which struck out Lindor and just got him ahead on McNeil 0-2.
Just notice the grip on McNeil. The hands are separated again. So wondering if
Come on, Jeff. Let's go.
that thumb is still giving him a little difficulty.
That's why he separated his hands, because of that cut on his right thumb that he suffered a couple of weeks ago. He hits this to center field.
All right, that should get the run in.
Reynolds just drifts back to
Good at bat. 1-0 Mets. There we go. That's a good at bat. Good job. 1-0 Mets. I'll take a sac fly there.
His 51st run of the year as he gets Nimmo home, and it's 1-0 New York.
Yeah, that's what I like about Pittsburgh. It's all black and yellow on purpose. It's pretty cool.
And got the ball up in the air to get a run home.
I'm actually wearing my 7-line Pittsburgh out in T-shirt.
Never happened before in
As you guys can see, put it in the books.
I could hardly believe it. They've lost 3 straight games by at least 6 runs.
Well, we got out and head this time. It's a little different. Usually we've been trailing.
And that it never happened before in Major League history. 3 straight losses.
Yeah, I heard about that, James.
The team's at least 30 games behind
James,
it.
about McNeil's bat. But then again, he's not the only one. There's a couple of other players that have a similar bat like that.
It's more amazing.
All right, Vogie, let's go. You missed the home run yesterday in the 9th. I think you should get one here. That'd be nice. Gotta get him going too.
It's multifaceted. Vogelback 0 for 3 last night, back in his old haunts. Started the year in Pittsburgh. In fact, I was looking to the Pirates have hit 1 grand slam this year, and it belongs to Daniel Vogelback. That's how much they've missed his power. That's hoping to get him revved back up. He's just 1 for his last 21. He's changed his stance.
1 for his last 21.
He's been kind of.
I'll take a base hit here.
What the heck he's doing, and he's not feeling comfortable to play. That's for sure. That was just kind of a pitch up and away that he just kind of slapped at. He's got that top hand that he likes to pull.
Come on, Vogie. Bill, I know.
What do you see?
I don't see why they wouldn't just give Vientos a chance. Come on, Bogey. Let's go. 1-0 Mets, top of the first.
Against the Dodgers, through 3 left-handers against the Mets. Both have been mainly right-handers. Vogelback has been getting a lot of playing time.
2-2 from Underwood, and he pulls it on the ground behind first, handled by Chavis. So
all right, so that is the end of the inning. Second and third with nobody out, only got 1 run, but at least the Mets actually get on the board with 2 hits. 1-0 Mets going to the bottom of the first. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. You know the deal. See if we can get those likes up early today and root on the Mets to finally win a game against a bad team. Again, it wasn't exactly what you were looking for, but we got a run in. I don't know if the Pirates face Bassitt. I mean, maybe in a couple of years ago. But again, there's a lot of different players on this Pirates team. You know, it's like they get new faces every year. So, again, I don't think a lot of the Pirates team faced Walker even last year. So, you know, it's just you got to pitch well. And Bassitt has been pretty well this year. So, he's got a 1-run lead. Keep it a 1-run lead until the Mets score more. That's basically what you got to do. So after the top of the first, 1-0 Mets. Again, you know what? Yesterday the Mets should have had early runs and they didn't. At least they showed a little bit of a pulse in the first inning. We'll see. It is only the first inning. Yeah, Steve. When I went on the PNC tour last year, they talked about the lights. That they wanted to have like something to remember Forbes Field. So it's kind of cool. But I mean, I do like the surrounding area of around PNC Park with all the bars and the restaurant. It was great. I mean, you can bar hop, you can go to 3 restaurants before the game or after the game. Like, it's pretty cool. All right, bottom of the first, O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds, and Rodolfo Castro leading off against Chris Bassitt in the bottom of the first, 1-0 Mets.
Yeah, Chris Bassitt takes the man for the Mets.
The best breakfast meat. Oh, I got too many. It's hard to think. I'm a bacon person, so I'm not. You know, I'm not unique in a way where like, oh, give me this, give me that. Give me some bacon, I'll be good. What's up, Eric? All right, Chris, let's go. We need a good start from you. Let's go.
He's got to pitch a big ball game here with the doubleheader. He's got to do what we all come to expect from him, and that is give you 7+.
Never can go wrong with bacon. And I don't mind turkey bacon. It's not bad. I like my regular bacon, but turkey bacon I can deal with. Well, Steven, they're out of it. They're going to bring up their youngsters, just like every other bad team is going to bring up their top prospects during this time if they think they're somewhat ready. Oh, where was that pitch? All right, so they're already taking out a pitcher because they're doing a bullpen game. Bryce Wilson they went up with the opener, and now Bryce Wilson is going to probably pitch a few innings here. Ball 3-0. Okay, interesting. That second pitch should have been a strike, but as long as the umpire is consistent, I'm not going to kill him yet.
Lights are on an overcast day.
Come on, Chris. All right.
Interesting. First 4 pitches. Bassitt attacks Cruz inside.
You can understand that with the long arms and legs, not wanting to get his arms extended.
Nice pitch. Full count.
And your Lexus Metropolitan defense. Nito's turn behind the plate. This has been your steady.
End the lockout, Joe. End the lockout. I'm going to say it earlier today than I did yesterday. I think I caught it in the third inning.
And Tyler Naquin was played in right field in place of Starling Marte, waiting on word on his imaging results.
3-2 to Cruz leading off with Reynolds waiting on deck.
Strike 3. Nice pitch. There we go.
3-2 and got Cruz.
Nice pitch. That was a nasty two-seamer right there. There we go. Come on. Oh, and once again, guys, the coffee mug that I was giving away to subscribers from the other live stream that said LFGM, Jason, hold on, I got it here. Jason Ferguson won the subscriber random drawing. So he'll be getting this cup. I got his information already, so he'll be getting it in about a week or so. For some reason, packages have been very slow lately. I sent the package to Grant for his bar, and it's stuck in Missouri for some reason.
He's ready to return.
It'll be a welcome return. He has really been missed.
All right, Chris, there we go.
Down the middle for a strike.
That's it. I need a couple more 5 more Ks. Give me 6 Ks, and I got my parlay. I just need Jeff McNeil to get a hit. And I'll be all right.
Almost a full week of rest.
Come on.
2 runs and 6 hits in that game.
Nice pitch.
Comes in with a high cutter and it swung and missed 1 and 2.
They might be looking at it. Who knows? No, he's actually a Mets fan. He only been a subscriber for like the last month, but he was one of them that typed LFGM in that after the stream on the comments. There was about 37 people. I actually pulled it out of the hat. Nice pitch. 2 strikeouts. There we go, Chris. Get my parlay, baby.
Back-to-back strikeouts to start his day. 2 out and nobody on.
Got a nice little parlay going. Let's see what I got so you guys can know. I got a Mets win, Bassitt over 5.5 strikeouts, Nimmo, Alonso, McNeil hits. So I already got those 2, Nimmo and Alonso. And I also got 5+ strikeouts for Chris Bassitt. And that was what? Plus 1,000 for a $10 bet. So, excuse me. And I got Milwaukee to win and Tampa Bay to win. So if that all happens, I can win $220.
Last night. He pops this one up at foul ground. Escobar hoping for room and has it.
All right, end of the inning. Nice, solid, quick inning for Bassitt. Mets coming up in the top of the second. 1-0 Mets. There we go. Let's see. Outfield clock says the Bank Park is designed in relation to Connie Mack Stadium. Oh, see, I didn't know that. Does anyone have the Diaz bobblehead? Which one? The one that Foco is selling? It's on pre-order now, so the one that with the trumpets and all that, yeah, it's pre-ordered. You're not gonna get delivered until January after the baseball season. So I did order it, pre-order it. So I did get it. I do have Mr. Met over here. I didn't change the record yet, but this is the 7-line bobble. Technically, it's not a bobblehead. They consider it a bobblehead. Give me a second. Let me just wipe away the record. There we go. The Mr. Met bobblehead that's there, that has a chalkboard that you can put the record or whatever you want on it. It's from the 7-line. It's over here, the 7-line logo. So that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I got the Edwin Diaz bobblehead that you press the button and the trumpets, the Narcos plays. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I got that again. The giveaway stuff is gonna be a little bit different this time. I like to do the mystery boxes, so you get a couple of things. Yeah, Ralph, Oakland sucks. According to some Braves fans, that it was so hot in California that the ball was just flying everywhere, but you still actually have to put the bat on the ball as well. So again, if the Mets take care of business, they don't lose first place. It's just very simple. Steve, I know a lot of people that went to Olympic Stadium when the Expos played. I actually hope Montreal gets a new team, even though I don't like going back to a team that lost their team, because I don't think a fan base deserves it. They didn't show up the first time. Why would they show up the second time? All right, Bryce Wilson is in the game for Pittsburgh. The starter that was supposed to start the game, but they started with a bullpen on first. See if the Mets can get him. He has a 6.12 ERA in 19 games. 333 on base percentage against first batter face. He has 103 hits, walks 22, strikeouts 55, 15 home runs allowed. So let's see if the Mets can take advantage of it. I am, Steven, because I don't want to hear about weather, because it's been hot all over the country.
We mentioned it yesterday, but sparse crowd expected this afternoon, and it did not disappoint. As you can see, I'm surrounded by all my incredibly close friends here at PNC Park. And so, rather than be in my normal position right next to the Mets dugout, I'm going to try and get myself a foul ball. Got my glove, And
All right, second inning, top of the second, Mets lead 1-0.
Little white over there. If there's a ball and it's a toss-up, I'm going to fight him.
My first question, Steve, is that actually your glove?
No, it's Alan Suriel.
I don't know.
From
It wasn't pretty yesterday, but you did get the win, though.
Translator, he shags
Chief.
in the outfield sometimes, and so he gave me his glove. I will say this: I've been criticizing him all season long for how many balls he seems to miss in the outfield.
Well, Chief, according to some Braves fans, it was because of the heat
very stiff. Not
that balls were flying. But, I mean, the ball still got to hit the bat. So, look, Wright didn't pitch well yesterday, and the bullpen didn't pitch well yesterday. Like, all of a sudden, you know, nobody pitched well yesterday, and then Jansen came out and saved the game. So, you know, it's
– you better be careful. Gary, he didn't say this, but I'm sure he felt that
look, I don't care how our team wins. You win, you win. That's the way I see it. You know, if the Mets would have came back yesterday, won 9-8, I don't think anybody would have cared that the Mets won 9-8. The same reason why nobody should care about how the Braves won. They still won the game.
Marcano leading off in the second against Bryce Wilson, and he fouls off the slider. Wow. What have we brought here?
Well, the A's actually been playing a little bit better. You know, they played well against the Yankees. They've been playing better. I mean, look at the Nationals. They beat the Cardinals. Like, the Nationals have been playing better as well, and those teams shouldn't win at all, but they do. And Marcano bloops one. Wow, he hit that harder than I thought. 1 out. Well, Chief, that's why we watch the game, because baseball is very, very, very unique in that way. Anybody can beat anybody in any given day. And look, the Braves and the Mets have one of the easiest schedules in all of baseball. What does that really mean? Nothing. Because a lot of the bad teams are bringing up their top prospects, like the Pirates, like the Astros, the Nationals, Oakland. They're all bringing up their top prospects. You know, it's just not a bad team. These are guys that are trying to stay in the big leagues, too. I agree, Todd. I haven't been to Camden yet, Steve. I heard it's very nice, though. Steve, they did say about Marte that nothing was broken. A lot of inflammation. James, sorry. A lot of inflammation, so but nothing's broken. It's day-to-day with Marte. So I wouldn't be surprised if he plays in the series against the Marlins. No, because I think the Cardinal fans are just what Cardinal fans are. They cheer their team and they don't boo their team. It's just basically that. Come on, Tyler.
Take a peek. It's the first time I've seen him. Take a look at his secondary pitches to go with that fastball. Got a good fastball.
Up the middle and the shift. That sucks. The shift takes it, gives it, and takes it away. That's a base hit up the middle next year, but not this year. Eduardo Escobar is coming up. 2 outs in the second, 1-0 Mets. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, please take a second to please hit on that like button. Get this stream out to more Mets fans, more baseball fans, so we can have more fun. And enjoy the game and watch baseball on this afternoon Wednesday with game 1 of the doubleheader.
Wilson never accomplished a whole lot for the Braves, but he did have one shining moment. That was in the postseason in 2020.
Jacob, how you doing, buddy?
He was thrust into a starting role in Game 5.
Steve, really? Wow.
League Championship
That's crazy.
Series opposite Clayton Kershaw. He gave up 1 run in 6 innings and got the win that extended the Braves' season. Well, Steve hasn't caught a foul ball yet, but he has made some friends. It's nice that he has some company. Looked very lonely before. Escobar takes just below the knees, and it's 1-2.
Michael, I don't think so.
Treasure that picture forever.
Now, not counting the pandemic season, 2019 and 2022 have been extremely good years. I mean, Pete Alonso is going to be 3rd or 4th, and that should be a base hit. Oh, foul ball.
slider and pulled.
That's not true, Michael. I mean, 2019 was a really good year for Pete Alonso, and this year he's going to be top 4 in the MVP voting. So 30-plus home runs, probably going to hit around 38 to 40, and 110 to 115 RBIs, 20. That's really good. Edgardo, I did buy my playoff strip already, so I am going to playoff games. I might sell a couple of them because of work, but I'm definitely going to go to at least 1 or 2, depending on if it's a wild card series or a division series. I usually try to go to at least 2 of them. It's expensive to go, so I don't want to be broke just to go to playoff games. And again, I want to stream a lot of the playoff games as well. Come on, Eddie. Eddie's pretty good at that together. I think Jacob. I think he's going to get around close to 25 million per year, because that's like the. I mean, you buy out his arbitration year, so I think you can get him probably around $20 million a year. I think that's fair.
Not everybody can be Ryan Stanek. That's drilled in a right.
Base hit. There you go, Eddie. Good job. Escobar has put a lot of good at bats together the last couple of games. Whoop, get up. Yeah, you have to think about extending Alonso. You don't want to wait like the Yankees waited with Aaron Judge. And if Pete Alonso is his contract year, his free agent year, having an all-world season in his contract year, now you got to pay him $350 million instead of maybe only $170 million over 6 years or so. You got to sign these guys early on because the money is so outrageous. All right, Tomas Nido coming up with 2 outs and 1 on.
As he's gotten more left-handed bats, all of a sudden
Escobar has a lot of good at bats lately. I like to see that. And Nino hits a base hit down the line. All right, that's in down the line. Can Escobar score? Send him. Oh, you got to send him. I'd send him. All right, 2nd and 3rd. 2 outs with Nimmo coming up. There we go. This is why I like Tomas Nido better. He puts better at bats together than James McCann. Good job.
Nido gets a hanging slider.
God, I like Nido so much more than McCann.
And that odd little angle.
Let's go.
Off the wall. They're familiar with their home turf. Played nicely by the left fielder. Escobar can fly.
I don't know. O'Neill was the cutoff man. He might have gunned him out. I would have sent him, but
stop Escobar. I like the fact that he's telling them maybe to score because they make him hustle, make him think, and then you can always hold him up late.
He might have been out if he sent them.
So now 2 in scoring position with 2 out. Here's Nimmo.
Yeah, July. It was in mop-up duty, though, honestly. That's the only time McCain gets hits.
Also got the relay man on that double was O'Neill Cruz.
Yep, Jacob, they do have a doubleheader. I honestly think Aaron Judge is going to San Francisco. I think he wants to go home. And as much as the Yankees kind of pissed him off with that contract, I don't think he wants to be a Yankee anymore, to be honest with you.
No chance there for Cora. And with Nimmo coming up, he leaves them.
Come on, Brandon. Base hit. 2 out hits.
And Nimmo takes something away, and it's 1-1.
Oh, Steve, that's awesome.
Brandon's at 287.
James, he would have been a dead duck with 2 outs. I'd rather take the chance with Nimmo coming up, who got a base hit in the first at bat. I agree, Roberto.
0 for 2 so far today.
Come on, Brandon.
And Nimmo
just out in front.
And it's 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, Escobar was just turning third base when O'Neill was catching a ball. He would have been a dead duck. All right, 1-2 count to Nimmo. Base hit here, could score 2. Nimmo broke out of his little funk yesterday with a 2-run homer, a long shot to right center.
1-2 coming.
And just inside 2-2.
Strike zone. It's 2-2.
Yeah, it's kind of it looks like Oakland. And just think if there was no Mets fans there, if it wasn't the Mets playing, it'd probably be worse. But it is the middle of the day on a Wednesday, so and school started, so I'm not surprised.
Escobar at third, Nito
Come
at
on,
second
Brandon.
with 2 down.
Ball three.
Takes
All right.
that one low and in, and it's 3-2. Alonso hitting second in the order today would be next.
Come on.
So Wilson just trying to get settled in.
A lot of the Mets hitters are having a lot of good at-bats today, which is nice to see.
He's got 3-2 to Nimmo in his first inning of work. 21 pitches already. And Nimmo's skies
he popped it up.
Should be easily
right down the middle. Shit.
And that retires the side.
All right, the Mets didn't score, left 2 men in scoring position. Mets still lead 1-0. That kind of sucked. Again, you could have sent Escobar in that spot. He probably wouldn't have been out by a mile. I would have sent him, but I'm not going to go crazy on that because you do have Nimmo, who's swinging the bat a lot better. He just missed that. He just missed that ball, but he didn't get it done. Mets still lead 1-0 going to the bottom of the third. Excuse me. Not the bottom of the third. Bottom of the second, excuse me. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We got 124 in the stream right now. Love to having this many people on a middle of the week, weekday, early on, 12:35 start time. Many of the kiddos are in school, so if you are at work, if you're just at home, whatever you're doing, if you're new subscribers, say what's up and let me know where you're from. And if you just tuned in, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Once again, the Mets are leading the Pirates 1-0 going to the bottom of the second. Mets had an opportunity with second and third. Again, they had 2 outs with nobody on. They got a base hit and a double. Some could have said he could have sent Escobar. I think he would have been a dead duck, but we could have seen. I wouldn't have mind sending him on with 2 outs. Just it had to be a perfect throw, but O'Neill Cruz does have a missile of an arm, but that doesn't mean he would have made the throw. I think you could have sent him, but listen, I'm not going to kill Cora in that spot, to be honest with you. Roberto, I do have playoff tickets. Yes, I do. I'm probably selling a few of them. Like I'll probably go to game 1 or whatever home game is first. And then I'll probably sell game 2 because, it's these games are going to start at 8 o'clock. And you guys know my work schedule. So it's kind of rough to go to a lot of playoff games. But, again, maybe, I'll do like a subscriber sell-off or something like that. I'll do like a raffle, like a $5 buy-in or something like that. If you guys want to if you're in New York and want to go to a playoff game, we'll see. So bottom of the second, 1-0 Mets. See what Bassitt do in the second inning.
Today against Chris Bassitt. And tries to hold the swing, takes
hey, Gatto, I do agree with that.
Bassitt's game plan early on has been working those left-hand hitters inside. Sawinski 2 for 4 last night, hitting .204 for the year. And the curveball misses away, and it's a ball and a strike. Sawinski, then Cal Mitchell and Michael Chavis. Look up and down this Pirates batting order, and yeah, they put
what's up, buddy?
Hits last night. They had a terrific night. This is the team with the lowest batting average in the National League and the second fewest runs scored. And in today's lineup, there are only 2 out of the 9 who have on-base percentages above 300. I mean, I don't think I've seen a lineup like that all year. So
come on, Chris.
There's no telling what's going to happen this afternoon, but it's an opportunity for Bassitt to really get the Mets pointed back in the right direction.
They'll be swinging the bats, that's for sure.
And Sawinski,
yeah, another strikeout. All right, Chris. That's 3 strikeouts.
Out of the first 4 batters. Pirates had been the lowest scoring team in the league before they scored 8 runs last night. Now they're second for the bottom.
Ryan, $50. You know how much that's gonna cost? Because that's probably gonna be either an NLDS or an NLCS type of game. Those tickets are gonna go for $300 easily. To be honest with you.
And they're at the second most strikeouts. So it's a rough mix. There's Cal Mitchell. Mitchell, rookie from San Diego, second-round pick by the Pirates.
21-28. What's up? Send the hook. Send hook.
A lot of young players are getting a chance to play.
All right, come on, Chris.
Pirates team in 2022. So try and sort out the wheat from the chaff.
Ground ball.
On the right side.
Through the shift again.
Into right field, and the Pirates have their
Oh, my
first
God.
hit.
I just can't stand this shift.
That's a 3 on the right side against Mitchell, but he found the hole between Lindor and McNeil.
Deuce, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for subscribing. Where you from, buddy?
Let's change.
Yeah, I swear I think the shift is a 50-50 gamble every time.
You mean the pitch count?
All right, 1 out, 1 on, 1-0 Mets.
4 of them distributed among
Next year, yeah.
players, other than the pitcher. Obviously, the catcher has one.
Shortstop, obviously, we see Lindor with it. I would think you want your middle infielders. Yeah, maybe you want your corner infielders to have it because they can't see the sign.
Thank you, Ryan.
Middle infielders can see the sign.
They have it the second one.
Should be a double play.
They get the added second.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
4-6-3.
Nice double play by the Mets. Chris Bassitt, solid 2 first innings with 3 strikeouts. Mets are coming up in the top of the third. Gotta score some runs, man. From California. All right, awesome. Where in Cali? Gotta get some runs. Gotta get some runs. That's awesome from California. I've got a couple people from Puerto Rico. Got somebody from Sweden that commented, I think, about a week ago on the stream, which is kind of crazy. Always, Ryan, always. I love shit talking. Oh, that's cool, Steve. Well, Ethan, I don't like to go look back at history. I don't think it actually matters. The Mets are playing bad. When the doubleheaders, the last couple of times they were playing better. LA, okay, cool. Got that heat wave in California. Stay safe, man. I know the electrical system is like garbage over there, so be careful. Valhalla, I'm not worried about the Braves, to be honest with you. Only the fact the matter is that the Braves have been playing historic baseball, and it's not like the Mets can only make the playoffs by winning the division. Obviously, it'd be nice winning the division, but again, if the Mets play their game, they should be fine, right? The Mets are still in first place. If the season ended today, the Mets will win the division because of the season series. So I think it as like this. You have to just play Mets baseball. If they play the way they've been playing all year, they should be fine. And I do think the Braves are going to stumble a little bit on this West Coast trip because it's not an easy West Coast trip. Alrighty, so going to the top of the third. Mets, Pete Alonso leading off. Let's see if the Mets can get some runs here.
Pete Alonso taking a strike. People like to throw out Babe Ruth as a comp. Babe Ruth's not a comp. He had 1 year when he basically pitched and hit. Every other year, he was one or the other. Ohtani is doing things that nobody in the history of the game has done and doing them at an incredibly high level. And I know Aaron Judge is having a superb year. He's got 22 more home runs than Ohtani, who's second in the league in home runs. But it's hard to look at those numbers and really think deeply about them and not think that Shohei Ohtani is the MVP every year he plays at that level. Alonso flies one to shallow right field, and the second baseman Marcano goes out and calls and puts it away, 1 out. So Alonso doubled his first time up.
Ryan, I think he's going to the Giants, to be honest with you. I think if the contract is close enough to anybody else, I think he's going. If the Giants have a close offer to anybody else, I think he's going to go, to be honest. So Pete Alonso popped up. Lindor coming up with 1 out.
Second and third, and nobody out in that first inning, and struck out on a changeup from Dwayne Underwood. Now facing Bryce.
Yeah, but Alien, it's the drought, but that's nothing new. Like all the years that you had the opportunity of fixing your grid, you don't. And it's not like it's getting colder in California. Like I think everybody should know that.
Sounds like you're going.
You know, it's never a state where, you know, it's just going to rain every single, or, you know, once a week, you know. So, I mean, they know that. It's just, and they don't fix it. It's crazy to me. They need an overhaul of that system.
You know, his frame 1-1 to Lindor, but no,
Ethan, I don't know. I think if the Yankees put a great offer to him and the Giants give a little bit more or the same, why wouldn't he go home? Anybody would want to go home.
Baseball people will find a better term.
1-1 coming to Lindor.
Who better to do that than us? We're in a position to popularize whatever notion we choose.
Secondary starter.
Well, Ken, they tried. It didn't work.
Okay, well, at least we're having a conversation now. Delayed starter. Second story.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's coming to Florida from New York and California, or Texas for that matter. People are coming or going to.
Long reliever.
Look, when you treat your residents like crap and you don't do anything for them, and crime is like at an all-time high in both states.
Way of looking at a pitcher. Like the last guy on your staff is the long reliever.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, he's from Northern Cali, Valhalla.
Who becomes the long reliever?
I'm thinking in terms of when I played, there was doubleheaders, and it was your long man and relief, your spots.
I mean, he went to Fresno State, so.
Second game of doubleheader.
And Lindor grounds out.
Marcano comes up
2 outs.
And that's the second out.
I always felt
Lindor needs to get it going, man. He's been really bad.
Staff.
All right, Jeff McNeil coming up with 2 outs.
Yeah, that could be a spot starter.
Well, especially when you had 9 and 10 man
Right.
pitching staffs.
Exactly.
Now with 14 man pitching staffs, perhaps doesn't have quite the cachet.
Ken don't want liberals to come to
So
Florida
think about it.
and mess up the voting.
When you had 10 pitchers on the staff 35 years ago on back, the starters obviously went longer. But one of the guys was
Mets,
always
21-28. I don't like to get political on this channel, to be honest with you. I respect everybody's opinion on that, either way, left or right, but it's not what I actually care enough about, to be honest with you.
For just about a century.
I think that's for another channel, to be honest.
Well, I mean, there was a long time.
Come on, Jeff.
They had 4 starting pitchers.
Exactly.
Didn't go to 5 until, well, Mets 69 were one of the first teams to go to a 5-man rotation.
And Lindor pops up another one. That might drop.
Back, now racing in. He's got great speed.
Oh, nice
and
play.
He gets there to make the catch. He needed every ounce of that speed to make up for that first step.
All right, so 3 outs. Going to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Mets. Well, Alien, considering the fact that you don't vote, politicians don't like you. Put it that way, right or left. Yeah, that was a nice hustle. He stopped. He came back and he went back on that ball first, and he had enough speed to catch up. So Mets didn't score. 1-0 Mets still. Pittsburgh is coming up in the bottom of the third. You know, Stevie Mac, unfortunately, I'm too down the middle when it comes to politics. So both sides probably hate my ass, to be honest with you. I'm one of those voters, quote unquote, that, you know, see, the problem with most of the people who vote nowadays, or the people that are so obsessed with politics, are always one-sided, and they don't care. Like, if you're a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter, right? Let's just talk about that real quick, right? If you're a Trump or a Biden supporter, right? No matter what Trump says and what Biden says, a liberal is going to vote for a Biden, and a far right is going to vote for Trump. No matter what they say. Trump would say he's gonna blow up the Empire State Building. And then the same thing that Biden can say, oh, I hate abortion or whatever. Right? They'll still vote for him. The fact of the matter is, people don't want to listen. That's why debates are useless nowadays. Political debates are pointless now. The fact of the matter is, 95% of the people know who they're voting for nowadays. There's only about 5% that actually don't know who they're going to vote for, and I'm one of them. I go into it. I want to listen to the debate. I want to look back and forth. But you know what? That's our own opinion. But Mets lead 1-0. Mets are still struggling offensively, and that's the thing you got to worry about. Offensively has been a huge problem for the Mets. Valhalla, that would be awesome if I can make $5K with the playoffs. Listen, during the lockout, I got over 1,500 subscribers, just like that. So, Jason's watching from Thailand. That's awesome, buddy. Thank you.
I believe he was named after the town.
All right, Chris, let's go.
That's absolutely correct. He's from Tucupita, Venezuela. And he bounces the curve.
That's a ground ball. Going to be a little bit of a tough play, but Bassitt covers, 1 out.
First down. So Tucupita from Tucupita is retired. 1 out.
It's almost like the Hatchby pass.
All right, guys, let's no more political talk. Let's talk baseball. Let's hit on the Mets bullpen. That seems like always a fun topic.
It's actually the Tehachapi Pass is right in the middle of the divide.
I mean, honestly,
Northern California
who the hell said that?
and the
Ryan?
Southern California.
My Mets Dodger ticket for Game 3
Going north and south.
went for $150, and it was in the upper deck, and that was a regular season game. So imagine the postseason. I probably can get easily $350 for it if I really wanted to.
You could drive across the Panama Canal down into South America.
Well, you would
Find your way to Tucupita.
you wouldn't have to. You'd have to go down to the Caribbean.
Well, if you wish, you could take a boat. All roads lead to Tucupita. Greg Allen, the switch-hitting left fielder, takes a strike.
That's a strike.
2-1. Allen, who began his career as a Cleveland draft pick, actually spent some time with the Yankees last year. Played 15 games for them, and Pirates got him on waivers from the Yankees. His 25th start. And he fouls him out.
Well, I think he threw a ball. What was it, 102 miles an hour to first base that one game? I think they did it.
And that's playing him to pull 3
All right, 2-2 count.
fielders
1
on
out
the
already.
right side
Come on,
of the
Chris.
infield.
I do, Jacob.
And the catcher and number 9 hitter on deck. Two coming. And
Strike
a late
3,
swing,
4th
strike
strikeout
3 on that
for
count,
Bassitt.
running
Nice
off his
pitch.
hands. And Bassitt has his 4th strikeout.
Bassitt has found success inside and upstairs.
July, that's possible, especially if it's an NLCS.
That was called.
You know, NLDS 5-game series.
Inside the ball.
I probably can get a couple of $100 for it, probably like $400 for it, probably.
Inside out, you go in the opposite field. When in today's version, when you go keep your hands inside the ball and you're tied up inside, they still want you to.
Yeah, 122 miles an hour. I think the hardest hit ball was so far.
Catcher. Pirates got him.
Yeah, look, Bassett's been really damn good. I don't think he gets enough credit, to be honest. Nice pitch. And all his pitches are nasty right now. Got to give him a little bit more run. Ryan, you get wildcard / NLDS and NLCS first dibs to buy the strip. World Series, no. Should end the inning with the pop-up.
Easy play for Escobar.
And 3 solid innings for Bassitt with 4 strikeouts. Mets are coming up in the top of the 4th. 1-0 Mets. Jacob, I don't usually I use different sites because I don't use StubHub anymore because they charge an arm and a leg in service fees, and I don't think that's fair to the buyer or the seller. So, TickPick, I put it on Game Time, and occasionally I would put it on Vivid Seats. So it really depends. But if I'm gonna do like a subscriber giveaway or something, like not a giveaway, but like a chance to buy it, like I might do a raffle. Like you put $10 down and you'll be entered the raffle, something like that. Somebody told me to do that. It was probably a good idea. One, it can help the channel out, and also it will for $10 you have an opportunity to win a $500 playoff ticket. So. But we'll see. Alien, the same reason why I don't want to face the Cardinals or the Yankees is that there's an opportunity you actually might lose, and I don't want that crap again. Bill, I agree. Too many stranded. But I do like the quick innings for Bassitt here. And look, even when Bassitt doesn't have it, he still finds a way to go 6 or 7 innings. So, yeah, well, we all know it's about money, about night games. Again, I'm a fan of night games. I'm not a fan of – I like day games, but I'm not – honestly, if it was all day games, I would stream every day because I get home from work at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, that would be perfect for me. But, with these playoff games, they're going to start 8 – if it's a West Coast game – if the Mets are playing, it might be 8:30. So, it's going to be very interesting. But I'm definitely going to stream playoff games for sure. Even if I'm not actually visible streaming playoff games, I will stream the games because it'll be fun to have people in. I think a lot of people like that. So, but we're going to the top of the fourth. Mets lead 1-0. Bassitt has been pitching well with 4 strikeouts. 2 more strikeouts, and my parlay gets a little bit more nicer. We will see, but let's see if the Mets can get some runs in here. Vogelback is up, leading off the inning. 1-0 Mets.
Behind the ear. It's a 25-year-old.
Only time it's happened, co-MVPs.
It'll never happen again.
Daniel Vogelback leading off in the 4th with the Mets up 1-0. And he hits Bryce Wilson's pitch off the end of the bat.
And that's a base hit for Vogelback.
So Vogelback just his second hit in his last 23 at-bats. And the Mets hit the
and now he's a doormat at on the bases now.
Since 1882, and it wasn't until just this past weekend that they finally made their first inductions into a new Hall of Fame.
Well, Alien, that'd be nice, but you just never know.
Retired numbers before, but never had they had an actual Hall of Fame, and I think they inducted 19.
Yeah, they never do that, Steve. Too much money lost. It's always got to be prime time, unfortunately. All right, Mark, come on.
There's Marcano, who lined out to right his first time up.
Definitely got to go base to base here.
Long to establish a Hall of Fame.
A couple of players were missing, great players on that. We just showed you. You got the Paul Winter and the Winter brothers, the Little and Big Poison they were called, and also, forgotten, Marky Vaughn was a great player, Hall of Famer.
Oh, and that hit Marquette in the elbow. First and second, nobody out for the
Mark has
Mets.
been struck this year, and the 90th time that the Mets have been hit by a pitch. As they
I hope
approach the major
Pujols
league
gets to
record.
700. You know what I like about him?
5.
He's done it clean. That's why I like him, and I hope he does it.
Well, you got the elbow guard. I guarantee if he didn't have it, he would have gotten out of the way of that pitch.
So the Mets up
All right,
the
first and second, nobody out.
Wilson in the 4th.
Tyler Naquin at bat.
Tyler Naquin. Let's try to
Well,
break out their
I mean, he has to hit it during the
offensive
season to get
receivers
700.
with
Doesn't count in the
37 runs in
postseason.
Their last 13 games and just 4 runs in their last 3 coming into today. And Naquin takes down ball 1.
Yeah, Hank did. Of course, Hank hit it
Back to
clean.
that inaugural Pirates Hall of Fame class you were talking about. Keith, you mentioned
Jason,
there
I have his
are
rookie
plenty
card
of
too.
players that were left off that list. The way that the Pirates
They're
decided
expecting it to go to
first
700,
class was
800,
that
maybe even $1,000. That rookie card, maybe more. I'm trying to get it signed.
That's the first group, but they
Come on,
plan
Tyler.
inducting 2 to 3 more every year from here on out.
I'm trying to get it signed. If I get it signed by Pujols, it's going to worth a lot more.
They also, as part of the class of players in that inaugural group, inducted players who played for the Pittsburgh Crawfords and the Homestead Grays, 2 Negro League teams that made their home in Pittsburgh.
And Naquin hits one deep to left field. Yeah. Tyler Naquin with a 3-run homer. There we go. 4-0 Mets. There we go. Left center field home run. Give the Mets a 4-0 lead. There we go. That's what we needed. Woo! There we go. It's out of here. Billy Appler acquisition. Woohoo! Somebody knows how to hit in this team. Jesus. That's a shot. Crush that ball right there. He better hit that ball down the middle. Well, that's his what? Third home run as a Met? That was needed very badly, guys. Very badly.
That Naquin was going to get some playing time here, that he has had success at this ballpark.
There we go. This is what you're supposed to do against a bad team.
Starling Marte, first home run since August 10th.
It's almost a month since Naquin hit his last home run. Fourth home run as a Met. Come on, Eddie. Still nobody out, by the way, guys.
He takes a slider to his feet, 1-1. That's a big blow for a Mets team that
there we go.
Having trouble scoring.
That's what I like to see.
4 runs in the last 3 games combined. 4 runs already on the board in the first 4 innings today. Wilson misses away with the fastball, 2-1. Still nobody out of the inning.
Yeah, that was a shot.
Back led it off with a base hit. Canna hit by a pitch, and Naquin cashes it in. Naquin hadn't started the game in 10 days, but he takes advantage of the opportunity. And
Escobar hits one. Goodbye. 5-0. Yeah. Back to back. There we go. Yeah. Oh my God.
All of a sudden,
Escobar's looking like the hitter that we were getting in the beginning of the year. There we go. There we go. Back to back. Belly to belly. Officially, the Braves fans are going to be nowhere to be found now because that's what they do. The Mets needed a breakout game, guys. Really did. But let's not score all the runs. We need some for Jake tonight.
Pitch right out over the plate and down where he likes it.
Fifth back-to-back home runs for the Mets this season. This time it's Naquin and Escobar, the 7 and 8 hitters. And they just scrambling around the Pirates bullpen after Oscar Marie, the Pirates pitching coach, took a trip to the mound.
So, with that, just tuning in, the Mets are leading 5-0. 3-run bomb by Naquin and a back-to-back home run by Escobar, giving the Mets a 5-0 lead. There we go.
3 last night, 2 for 2 with a home run today, but it's part of a longer stretch now for Eduardo. For the last 8 games now, 9 hits and 22 at bats. Starting to hit some long balls. Nito fouls one off, and it's 0-2. As for Bryce Wilson, we mentioned the problem he's had with the long ball. That's now 17 home runs he's allowed in 85 innings this year.
That's what happens when you throw too many strikes.
And Nito strikes out. 1 out.
And the first strikeout of the day for Wilson.
Escobar, for the last week, has been putting a lot of better at-bats together. If he can start hitting, that is such a game changer for this lineup. Because remember, the beginning of the year, Escobar was batting 5th behind Pete Alonso. That was the guy that was supposed to protect Pete Alonso. If he can start hitting, put him behind Pete Alonso. And that's a shot to the first baseman, 2 outs.
Yeah, that's the second out. That's starting to square up.
Yeah, that's why this doubleheader kind of works out for the Mets fans, because after this game, you can turn on the Braves game, watch that game, and then another Mets game at night. So it's a pretty good baseball day for us Mets fans. Look, if the Mets win today, say if they win these 2 games, even if the Braves win, they gain a half a game on the Braves. So that's why these 2 games are huge. And Alonso, another base hit. Alonso's going the other way. That's key. 2 for 3 for Pete Alonso. Nice to see. Come on, Jeff. I need Jeff McNeil to get a base hit here. Give me my parlay.
Jumping out too quick, and this is a good sign here. Hitting the ball where it's pitched, not trying to pull it. If you're out in front and you're in a little bit of a lull or a slump, whatever you want to call it, you're always out in front. The only way you're going to get out of it is
If the Braves lose and the Mets win both, they gain a full game.
You get jammed. So what? You're not going to have a chance out in front. You have a chance when you let it get deep.
Come on, Frankie.
4 hits in the inning now, and here's Lindor, who struck out and grounded.
I want Francisco Lindor to start getting going here.
Francisco takes the fastball away for ball 1. Lindor, the 8th man up in the inning. Mets have scored 4 runs here in the 5th. Back-to-back homers by Naquin and Escobar. Change-up misses to Lindor, and it's 2-0.
No, Ken, it wouldn't be a game and a half.
Wilson working his third
Because
inning.
if the Braves win and we win, it's still tied. If we win tonight, it's only a half a game, buddy.
That's it sharp.
And that's a sharp ground ball right to second. Well, at least. All right, so I like Lindor swinging at that pitch. He hit it hard, had a little bit better at that, but the Mets get 4 runs in the 4th inning, giving the Mets a 5-0 lead against Pittsburgh. Chris Bassitt coming back to the mound for the bottom of the 4th. Back-to-back home run by Tyler Naquin with a 3-run homer. And if the Mets, and excuse me, Escobar hitting a home run. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah. If the Braves lose, it's a game and a half. Yes. Steve, oh yeah, of course. I go there a couple times a month, probably. So with that said, guys, nice to see the bats break out a little bit. Even Lindor hit a hot shot to second base, so he put a good at bat together. Escobar's, Tyler Naquin probably gave Met fans and the dugout a sigh of relief getting that 3-run homer right there. Nice to see the Mets break out of it a little bit. Is anybody shocked we don't see Brave fans in here now? It's typical, right? Like, you can't always show up when the Mets are losing, Braves are winning. Can't do that. You're officially a bandwagon fan if you do that. And yes, that's what you are. Oh, Jason. I'm sorry, buddy. It's past midnight. Oh, God, that sucks. Sorry. That's rough. Glad you're tuning in, though. So, once again, guys, just tuning in, the Mets are winning 5-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Looney, I know you've hung around. I know that. Yeah, Jason, I understand. Listen, I work overnight, so I'm up a lot during the Mets 7:00 games, and them things don't end until 11. I go straight to work a lot of the time, so I get it. It's not fun. All right, bottom of the 4th, Mets lead 5-0. Bassitt with 4 strikeouts and 1 hit so far. See if he can continue his dominance. Roberto, we need it, buddy. We need it.
In a given game, he gets his second at bat of this game after getting called out on strikes his first time up.
Reeders is pretty good in Philly. I tried that when I went there last month.
Season game and then cruised last night. Only 4 who have done that since Diecast began tracking it in 2015.
And J.D. Martinez in that game.
Ooh, nice curveball.
So he was red hot.
Well, speaking of exit velocity, you want to know what the Mets did last inning? You saw how hard.
Jason, anytime, buddy. Keep on coming back for more. I appreciate that.
Naquin 106, Escobar 108, Nimmo 103. That's chopped to the left side. Escobar will have to hurry against the speed of Cruz, but no chance.
Once again, the shift.
Cruz, for all of his other abilities that time, he lowered his velocity just
Can you
on the Jets, and was probably going to beat it out even if Escobar got to it cleanly. So a leadoff hit, just the second hit for the Pirates. Maybe they just complete the last inning. Alonso 109, Lindor 106. So 5 players at the ball.
Looney probably.
103 or better.
All right, come on, Chris.
They're going to run with Wilson for quite a bit here.
Brian Reynolds, who struck out his first time up. Bassitt dealing with just the second base runner of the game, and Reynolds fouls off a high cutter, 0-1. Well, there's a second game of the doubleheader to be considered, and in that second game, even though they haven't announced it, the assumption is that the Pirates are going to go with Johan Oviedo, who has been relieving most of the season. So he's not likely to go deep into the game.
Ken is supposed to. I think that's guaranteed. An infielder can't be on the grass in the outfield, and the shortstop, nobody, the first and second baseman can't be past the left side of second base, and the shortstop and third base can't be past the right side of second base. So you'll still see shifts on those sides, but not the extreme shifts where like three guys on one side of second base.
It'll be a different Pirate lineup than the one in this first game.
Come on, Chris.
Had a lot of their regulars, but this is not a team.
It was a bomb. Let's center field, David.
Their regulars.
And that's pop up to left field.
And retreating is Canada.
1 out.
It's really gotten to a habit of playing every fly ball off to the
Well, you know
side.
what? I want to see the difference when there's no shift next year.
Why that is.
Like, will it give up a couple more hits? Of course. How many shots up the middle are outs now?
Ask him about that. 1 out and 1 on. Rodolfo Castro coming up.
But I do think the shift gives up a ton of hits. Hits that should never happen. I'd rather give up the hard hit, base hit up the middle than weak hits because of the shift.
As he's trying to build up his arm strength after
Come on,
a
Chris.
year away.
Well, only 34 pitches for Bassitt, so he could go deep for sure.
Fouled back the first pitch, change up, 0-1.
Yeah, Ken. Canna actually spoke about that.
Got a home run here off of Walker.
Oh, Sports KAE Sports Talk from South Korea. What's up, buddy? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that.
They just had a big inning there. They clicked it on in that 8th
Ken,
inning.
I'll get to you for a second. Oh, with Canna. Yeah, with Canna, he talked about that. He says that the glare, he always had an issue in Oakland with the glare, so he just got comfortable catching the ball from the side. Hey, if it helps, if it makes it easier for him, like, let him keep doing it. Come on, Chris.
0-2 coming, and Bassitt misses with a curveball, 1-2.
Well, Steve, I think more players are so focused on launch angle and pulling the ball that's why people started doing the shift, because of that aspect. Because you're not a good hitter, in my opinion, that way. Like, there's a reason why Aaron Judge is a 300 hitter, because he just don't pull the ball. Aaron Judge is a power hitter who can hit the all field. That's a big difference, you know?
1-2 to Castro, another breaking ball. That one's
And even Pete Alonso's batting 260, 270. Like, power hitters nowadays shouldn't be batting 270 to 300. They should be batting 240. But when you hit the ball to all fields, you're a better hitter. All right, 1-2 count to Castro. 5-0 Mets. Bottom of the fourth. Bassitt is dealing right now. And strikes him out. 5 strikeouts for Bassitt.
Bassitt has his 5th strikeout as he gives Rodolfo.
One more strikeout, and he gets my 5 over 5.5. I love it. One more.
It's been real.
Then I need Jeff McNeil to get a base hit, and I get my parlay. Exactly, Ken. Like, Rizzo's got, 30? He got more home runs than Pete Alonso, but he batting 220. Like, take away the 3 home runs he hit at Yankee Stadium, and probably the other pop-ups that he hit in Yankee Stadium, he'll probably have about 25 if he's playing anywhere else.
Bassitt's got all the goods working, and it's really been the case for most of the year. Last 13 starts pitching to a 2.41 ERA.
Ooh, almost got Cruz there.
It's being a little less methodical today, not shaking off Nito quite as much as usual. He's got so much in his arsenal, and it's all been working for him. He goes back to the curveball, and it's in the dirt. It's a ball and a strike. Jack Sawinski, the rookie from Chicago, originally drafted by the Padres, came over in the deal for Adam Frazier last summer. Ducapito Marcano came over in that same
Come on, Chris.
And unlike Marcano, Sawinski is not from Tucumita.
Nice pitch, strike two.
Ball is 1-2.
Very effective upstairs against this Pirate lineup. He has just found a big hole there to go
That's
after
true.
these hitters. That is above the belt.
Come on, Chris.
Cutter high.
Carving him up, Keith. Cruz at first with 2 out. 1-2 coming to Sawinski. And he gets
Popped
under
it up.
one, pops it up to shallow right. McNeil, who was playing out in the outfield, waves everybody away.
And the
Just
inning
takes
is
care of
over.
that.
4 solid innings for Chris Bassitt. Mets still lead 5-0 going to the top of the 5th. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. If you're a new subscriber to the channel and you still didn't say where you're from, let me know, please, because I always like to know where everybody's from. We got South Korea in the house. We got a couple of Californians in the house that are new subscribers. So thank you. Welcome to the channel. And hopefully you keep on coming back for more. And I provide as much information and gameplay as possible. I know some people can't get SNY. Some people just can't get it at all. So you get to listen to Gary, Keith, and Ron. You get to listen to instant reactions from fans, from myself, to others that are in the chat. What I think I'm going to do, probably, I'm going to try it out, probably Dylan from North Carolina. I got a lot of family from there, so welcome. Thank you. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to give, I'm going to have a call-in system. You can call into the channel to ask a question or voice your opinion. I'm going to give a Google phone number that's going to be connected to the channel. Jay, thank you. From New York, Jay, where you're from exactly, or where are you now, I should say. Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Hebrew, how you doing, buddy? Well, you know what? McNeil hasn't done nothing in this lineup yet today. It's been everybody else. So, again, we can go on the lineup being constructed, but Naquin hit a 3-run homer, batting 7. So, who the hell knows? But I'm going to do a call system like when there's in Mets pregame. I'm going to do Mets Talk Live. Obviously, on Mets off days or days I can't do a live stream. I'll do Mets Talk Live and we'll have a call system. Daryl from Bermuda, love it, love it, love it, love it. So I'm going to do a call system, Google call. So anybody can call from anywhere around the world. So you can call in, leave a message, and some will be live, some will be messages. You can ask a question and I'll answer it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to set up a Google number for us so everybody can get involved and I can actually hear your voices. Another one from North Carolina. All right. Top of the 5th. McNeil is up. 5-0 Mets. Mets fan from Philly. You are a Bulldog, Mr. Smith. Yonkers. All right, Jay. Cool.
Sliding catch in left field to rob Jeff of a blue pit in the third.
Jeff McNeil, another ground ball to the second baseman.
And that's the first out.
Jamaica, Queens, not too far from where I am. Northern Cali now. Might see your boy Aaron Judge soon. All right, keep just the truth from in Miami, from Brooklyn. Love it, love it, love it. You're welcome, buddy. Hopefully, you keep on coming back for more. Brad, anytime. Yeah, Bill, I know you're from NC, buddy. That's awesome. A lot of NC from here. A lot of my family's living there now, so actually the majority. All right, Vogel back up.
Get a little help today as Vogelback fouls one off as the sun comes out.
Hey, the sun is out. How about that?
Keith.
Of course there is. It's just been hiding.
Mr. Smith, Judge to Mets. I think that's a pipe dream. I think depending on how pissed off Steve Cohen might be after the season end, maybe. But I think he's going to the Giants.
Now wait a second. It's knocked off the grass
Sure.
to Marcano with their 2 out. You are aware that there is a long-running television series, a very funny.
Oh yeah, North Carolina. They got their minor league teams there, so that kind of makes sense. Brave country.
16 years.
Upstate PA, 5 hours from Pittsburgh, but still blacked out. Oh, gotta love Major League Baseball, right?
it was a.
Kyle, you're welcome, buddy. I'm glad I can help a little bit.
But, I mean,
Dylan
it's a
Clayton,
very long
North Carolina.
sitcom.
The majority of them.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I think particularly given
Judd's to Mets pipe dream,
a
Jay,
recent
in my opinion.
contretemps with the folks of Philadelphia.
White Sox
I
and
think it's
Rays.
appropriate
Interesting.
for you to be watching
And that should
show.
end the inning. And it
I
does.
learned something.
All right, going to the bottom of the fifth. Mets still lead 5-0. Bassitt has been dealing. I don't know. It's going to determine in about a year, probably around this time. Well, August next year. Hickory, North Carolina. Okay, hour north of Charlotte. Okay, so you're up there. Okay. The game is moving. I love it. This game can end by 3 o'clock, 3:30. I'll be happy. Yeah, Keith. I went to a Brooklyn Cyclones game with the 7-Line Army. July, I believe. They had like a party thing in the back, in right field, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I've been to 2 games, and I like Maimonides Park in Brooklyn. It's a really nice ballpark. You know, after the game, you can just go on the boardwalk. It's pretty cool. Oh, Hillcrest and Jamaica High School. Okay. Okay, yeah, I know them schools. I played against them in baseball. They weren't very good, but I went to Richmond Hill High School, so not too far from there. So Steve Cohen can outbid everybody for Judge, but again, do we want to get Judge? Like, where is he going to play? Like, if the Mets going to sign Nimmo, where's he playing? You know what I'm saying? Kyle, I know I didn't go to Binghamton last time the 7-Line went. They were going to do it this year, but they're not. They definitely do it next year. So I'll probably do it next time, but I got to hit up Cooperstown. For, funny thing, I never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame yet, which is kind of odd. Somebody who is obsessed with baseball, I still haven't been to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm planning on doing that with my dad. Probably this year, most likely. Yeah, Steve, they're coming. Yeah. Alien, yeah, they are coming from to Oakland this month, actually. Yeah, the end of the middle of the month. What is it? The 20th, I believe. So the 7-Line is going to be in Oakland. They'll probably be the only fans there. So, Kyle, you going there? Yeah, I'm not going this year. I was supposed to go, but I sold my ticket and gave my shirt away because it just didn't work out for me. So in the last 20 of the 25 Chris Bassitt starts, he pitched 6 innings. That's great.
Starts, 100 or more pitches, 10 of 25 starts. Gets that on Cal Mitchell. Nothing in 1. Mitchell has one of the 2 hits for the Pirates. A single.
Oh, shoot, really?
Right field in the second.
What years did your ex go to Richmond Hill High School? Live stream for Cooperstown would be fun, to be honest with you.
4 innings. This is the curveball outside 1-1. Struck out 5.
Yeah, I don't think Judge. I think all of a sudden Judge stays healthy in a contract year. Kind of odd to me, in my opinion.
To stem the tide.
Yeah, Mr. Smith, I don't want Judge, to be honest with you. You're never gonna have another year like he had this year.
5 runs and 8 hits over the first 5.
Bulldog Bassitt, I agree. Strike 2. Oh, okay, she did live in the area. Okay.
I mean, you take away that little bad spell that Bassitt had back in mid-May, where he had those 5 starts where he really struggled. Around a month worth, almost.
Oh, okay, Kyle, that's cool.
5 starts.
And 6 struck out for Chris Bassitt, and he gets the over 5.5, and he also gets the 5+ strikeouts I need for my parlay. So all I need now is a Mets win, McNeil hit, Brewers win, and a Rays win, and I win $400. That'd be nice. Update McGill, he's still rehabbing. He should be back in the homestand, I believe, from 2004 to 2008. So I went from 2001 to 2005. So I was a senior when she was a freshman. Oh, a junior when she was a freshman. So, okay. So did she play sports? I might know her if she played softball. I was always around the softball team or any sports team for that matter, or even basketball for that matter.
He gets first pitch curveball for a strike. So Bassitt.
Thank you, Agaro.
Curveball this inning.
26 start for Bassitt, and he has taken the ball.
I don't know if you want to give her a full government name. I mean, she is your ex now, but if you give, sorry guys, a broadcast emergency alert system. I gotta mute it. Sorry. Oh yeah, Biddy is an ass. That sucks. I'm not happy about that. I have to mute it, guys, because the emergency alert system came on. Yeah, I think you guys know this. Yeah, we don't want to hear that. So I'll do the play-by-play right now. Give me a second. So it is I can't even see the count for crying out loud. Let's see. It is a 2-1 count to who the hell's up? Michael Chaffis with 1 out in the 5th. Takes ball high, inside, 3-1. Oh, she was a nerdy girl. Okay, then I probably didn't know her. So Bassitt got 6 strikeouts, only giving up 1 hit so far. No runs. 51 pitches in the bottom of the 5th to 1 out. Nice pitch count for Bassitt. Can go deep in this ball game. And Chavis fouls it off. Full count to Chavis. Cute, though. What was her name, if you don't mind me asking? I'm curious. So they're still doing the monthly test. That's why you're not hearing the sound right now. Sorry about that, which is kind of annoying. It's very annoying, actually. And Chavis fouls it off the 3-2 pitch. And they're still doing the emergency alert system. Hopefully it comes back just now.
It is
All right, there we go. The game's back. There we go.
sagacious.
Crafty, sagacious. That's a word you don't hear on baseball.
Okay,
podcasts
Steve. Cool.
nearly enough. 3-2 coming, and it's fouled back. I think that he does it to mess with the hitters.
2 hits. 2 hits. That's right.
I think it's less getting the catcher to the right pitch than putting doubt in the hitter's mind.
No question.
It's all part of a plan.
All right, so still a full count to
This
Chavis.
turn at bat he's had today. This will be the 8th pitch coming up to Michael Chavis.
And he strikes him out on the curveball. 7 strikeouts for Bassitt.
He's just toying with him.
7 strikeouts now.
Oh, of course she's Guyanese. Everybody in Richmond Hill was Guyanese in Richmond High School. Shafrana, I don't know her.
Chavis, what
I don't know that name at all.
series is not like
Portuguese.
So 2 out and nobody on. And now to compete at Marcano. Grounded out his first time up.
I don't know, July. He had a lot of good islands this year.
We had seen Marcano before with the Padres and saw him exclusively as an outfielder, but he's played some second base for the Pirates, and he's getting his 18th start at second base today. He's just 22 years old.
You know what's funny? Alien, I actually have her on Facebook. Again, from that Richmond Hill Facebook page, because I got mutual friends that's with her too. So that's interesting. She's married now, just so you know.
Original content anytime, anywhere, on any device with the SNY app presented by CarShield. Scan the code and download it now.
Yep, Alien. I was one of like 3 white boys in that school.
1-1 to Marcano.
Strike 2. All right, Chris, let's go.
Strike, and it's 1-2.
that's that good pitch. That's been a very effective pitch for him.
Yeah, I don't even. They don't do that anymore. Jamaica High School. I don't know. They turn it into many.
On the hands of left-hand hitters. Very effective pitch.
So these Pirate hitters are seeing Bassitt for the first time, and you can tell they've all looked rather befuddled. The entire lineup, there were only 3 at-bats total. Reynolds had 1, Chavis had 2 before today against Bassitt.
Come on, Chris.
Faced the Pirates once back in 2019.
Oh,
Half swing, and
that was
Marcano
close.
stopped at the time of the curveball.
I thought
Let's do it, too.
I thought it was a strike.
Corey Blazer has the plate in game 1. John Lipka will have the plate in game 2. Extra umpire Alex McKay working at first.
Oh, that's a long time, Alien. Come on, Chris.
Coming. Up and away with the fastball, and it's 3-2.
And Gary, you and I will have the game 2.
Yeah, it's one of the better trades.
We will
For that was a big pickup for sure.
Same network. Later time slot.
So full count to Marcano. Bottom of the fifth, 2 outs. 60 pitches for Bassitt.
Between game times. 3-2 coming. And that's lifted foul off the left side, and that'll still out of play. But that with the, let's just say, lack of throng in the ballpark, that it really won't take very long to get everybody out and get the stadium clean.
Actually, I looked at the wrong person. She's not yet.
I don't know. It should have just been a straight doubleheader.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Bassitt, I always thought was the ace of the A's, to be honest.
When you're drawing 5, 6, 7,000 people a game, do you need to have a split doubleheader?
Blue skies here.
It's beautiful.
Come on, Chris.
Fairly glowing. 3-2.
Struck him out. 8 strikeouts.
Bassitt blows a fastball by Marcano.
5 solid innings for Chris Bassitt. Mets still lead 5-0 going to the top of the 6th. Mets 5, Pittsburgh nothing. There's the performance I think we all were needing for Mets fans. Yeah, Alien. Hey, listen. When you're from New York, you kind of know a lot of people, you know. No, I don't think Bassitt Montage was ever better than Bassitt. Bassitt was the ace of that staff. Even though Montage was the younger one and the more electric one, Bassitt was always the better pitcher. So 8 strikeouts for Chris Bassitt, 2 hits in 5 innings so far with only 62 pitches. So good start for Chris Bassitt so far. Is something that we really, really needed, and the offense came alive. We got how many hits? So we got 8 hits in 5 innings. Tyler Naquin with a 3-run bomb to left center, and Escobar right after him, back to back, hitting the solo home run, and also a sac fly by Jeff McNeil, bringing home the first run of the ball game. Mets lead 5-0. That is the roundup for the Mets so far. Going to the top of the 6th, the Mets lead 5-0. And leading off for the Mets is Tyler Naquin, batting 7th. So it's 7th, 8th, and 9 for the Mets in the top of the 6th. Yeah, well, as everybody's talking about, you know what? The Mets still didn't blow the division lead yet. At the moment, they're still tied for first place. And again, if the season ended today, the Mets would win the division based on head-to-head against the Braves. So, for all we know, Alien, Bassitt could pitch 9 innings. He got 60 pitches in 5. So, can he pitch 8 innings? Yeah, of course. And you probably put in Diaz, too, considering he hasn't pitched in a while. So, yeah, Alien, a lot of people miss New York. I might miss New York if I move too, but not really going to miss it, So the road ahead for the New York Mets. One more game, obviously, tonight at Pittsburgh. Then the Mets fly to Miami, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and head back home for a 7-game homestand against the Cubbies and the Pirates for 4. Mets got to get big in this series, in this stretch. Tyler Naquin leading off, 5-0 Mets top 6.
Inning against Bryce Wilson, and he takes ball 1. Naquin has the big hit in this game, a 3-run homer into the bullpen left center in the 4th.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, though.
4 weeks since his last home run on August the 10th. In between the 2 home runs, he went 3 for 34 with 17 strikeouts. But perhaps now back on the beam. Getting the start today, his first start in 10 days. With starting Marte having been knocked out of the game last night. Hit by a pitch on his right hand. Marte is still on the active roster. That's we're waiting before the game today for one last set of images to make sure that hand was not broken. Whether Marte is available perhaps to pinch run in this game, we don't know. Fastball away, Naquin 3-1. That's hoping they don't need that with a 5-0 lead in the 6th, but you never know.
Basically, Marte is going to be, I guess, day to day. Hopefully, there's no fracture or break. We've heard nothing, and obviously, if it is serious, if it's a break, then that's a season ender.
Well, I don't think that the Mets would make an announcement during this game anyway, because they certainly wouldn't want the Pirates to know that one of their active players is unavailable.
Right.
But who knows? I mean, knowing Starling and his pain tolerance, if it's not broken, he might be playing tonight.
Robert, they said Marte is day to day. He has no broken bones, so he's day to day. I would be surprised. He probably take these 2 games off, and he might take the first game off in Miami, but he'll probably be back for the Miami series. And Scherzer is on the IL until the 19th, and Naquin strikes out.
Bryce Wilson has his second strikeout. Wilson falling into a little better groove after a rough 4th inning. He's retired 5 in a row. Our man with the glove is out in the stands, Steve Gill. So any luck?
No luck so far, Gary. I've switched positions. It was completely futile down the right field line. I did some light research. Felt like a couple of foul balls were coming off lefties' bats right behind
You dated her my senior year.
A couple innings ago. I will say this.
And that's a pop-up by Escobar. Should be 2 outs, and it is.
Me, unfortunately, out of center field.
Well, you're not playing center field.
Well, I was trying to get him to.
This game is about an hour and a half long, and it's already the top of the 6th with 2 outs.
You know, just send positive thoughts that way.
You're like a Vulcan.
But listen, I was right. There have been a couple of foul balls in this area, including one that was about 5 rows below me about an inning and a half ago.
Yeah.
A 7-year-old girl from Youngstown, Ohio, caught the ball, and she was stronger than I thought. I tried to yank it away from her.
No. I'm very glad to hear that you didn't try to take it away from her, because that's what you're really trying to say, right, Steve?
No, I absolutely.
Tomasino up with 2 outs in the 6th.
No, part of the reason that I'm out here is to teach the children that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and it's every man for himself.
Now let's be practical about this, because Keith and I were talking about this. Since they've put up the netting all the way down the line, it has to have changed the equation of where you would position yourself to best put yourself in foul ball territory.
Yeah, that's why I moved, because there was a hard foul ball that looked like it was coming my way, but it was a line drive right into the net. It seems like as Nito strikes out.
And Nito strikes out. Going to the bottom of the 6th. Mets lead 5-0. Chris Bassitt coming back on the mound. 8 strikeouts, 2 hits in the first 5 innings of the game for him. He's been really, really good. The pitcher performance that we needed and the offense that we finally seen break out. I'm not going to say a lot, but broke out enough where you can feel a little bit better. Lindor had a nice at-bat, his last at-bat, who's been struggling, hit it hard, but right at somebody. Alonso is 2 for 3 right now. McNeil doesn't have a hit yet, but he had he's trying to put together good at-bats, popping up balls, still staying under balls. You see Naquin got a 3-run homer. Escobar has been heating up. Nimmo looked a little better the last couple of at-bats, so the Mets are starting to look like they're having better at-bats. And like I said, I want to see a little bit more from Lindor. I want to see McNeil get a hit, partially for my parlay, but I want to see McNeil to get going again. Nito even got a hit, so a lot of things are looking better in this ball game than we've seen in the last 3 games against the Nationals and the Pirates. So let's see if the Mets can continue it throughout this game into tonight's game, flying out to Miami and doing the job they need to do in Miami. And again, they're still in first place. So they win both games today, they're automatically going to be in first place by at least a half a game. So can't complain there. So once again, guys, if you're new to the channel, say what's up in the chat and let me know where you're from. If you're just tuning in, please hit on that like button so we can get this stream out to more people and more baseball fans, because that is why we're all here, because we all love the game of baseball. Oh, that's cool, Steve. Let's see. And once again, guys, I said this during the other commercial break. I'm going to set up a Google phone number so you guys can call in during a live stream, during probably Mets pregame or Mets Talk Live. And also you can send messages as well that I can put on the stream as well. So bottom of the 6th, Mets lead 5-0. Bassitt on the mound with 62 pitches.
Sitting, his face just 1 over the minimum. The number 8 hitter Greg Allen leading off in the home 6th. And Allen takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Allen struck out his first time up. Tyler Heineman on deck, and then O'Neill Cruz for the Pirates. We've had just 2 singles against Bassitt. No walks, 8 strikeouts for Chris.
Bassitt's motion is part of his deception. Look how low he gets, the shoulder lift, the glove hand up in the air. It's kind of an awkward delivery, which I think it makes it very difficult to pick up and get a rhythm with his pitches as a hitter.
There you go, Steven. Love the positivity. Let's go.
In the game, a beautiful shot behind home plate with him delivering the pitch. Pretty much what the hitter sees, and it's a lot of moving parts. And all of a sudden, boom, there's his hand, and the ball's out of his hand.
Between the deception and then the number of different pitches that he can throw you, it's going to be a hard day's work against him. Line down the line. That's a fair ball down the line.
Might be a double.
Heading for second is Allen. He's got great speed, and he beats the throw by
and that's a leadoff double.
For a leadoff double. So the first extra base hit of the day for the Pirates is a leadoff double for Greg Allen, his fourth double of the year.
Through the first ball that's been really hit hard off of Bassitt. That was a fastball up, out over the plate. Just got by Pete. He's been really good at covering that line. And we catch the line. And here's the speed of Allen here.
And he had to be fast because that ball bounced off the sidewalk right out to Naquin. It's got a strong arm.
All right, Chris, come on.
Good throw to second, and Allen just beat it. Tyler Heineman, the number 9 hitter, and he takes a strike on the inside. Heineman hopped up to the third baseman his first time up. First time in the game that the Pirates have had a runner as far as second base.
There you go, Steven. I love it.
Mitchell singled in the second, was a race on a double play. O'Neill Cruz had a leadoff infield hit in the fourth, and he was left stranded at first. Let's have the full shift on against Heineman with Lindor close to the bag at second and McNeil out at shallow right.
Nice curveball for strike two.
He's had a good slow curve today.
Steve, that's what I said. The Mets are winning. The Braves fans are nowhere to be found. That's what's annoying with certain fans. And this goes for Met fans, too. That's why I call them bandwagon fans. They only show up when their team wins and the other team loses. That is a pop-up and out of play.
The fact that he's been predominantly using that pitch.
His pitch count is 69 with no outs in the sixth. I think he has enough to go 8, to be honest.
To the left-hander on the outside corner more effective because the hitter is very much aware inside.
Look at that view, man, of Pittsburgh. Pretty cool. Come on, Chris.
1-2 to Heineman. He fouls that one away. Neil Cruz, the on-deck batter.
Exactly, Edgardo. That's why I can't be serious with some fans.
No.
Did you actually catch that?
I got it.
Did you catch it?
No, it was about a section over and it bounced towards me.
No.
This guy right here is trying to steal a ball. We're on air right now.
Yeah, but I've never gotten the ball in my life.
70. I've never gotten the ball in my life. I'm 30.
I've got a lot more years left. You can't watch.
I don't know about that. Not this job. Look at
all the kids. Look at all the people trying to get the ball. Steve Gelbs.
Guys, excuse me, guys.
Security.
Look at it. Security.
And security is moving everybody away.
I need security.
That was awesome. Steve, go ahead.
You're on TV right now. Well, now you're on TV. Here, look. Wave right.
Hello, Ronnie.
Ronnie's not there, but Keith and Gary. You can say hi.
Keith and Gary, I love those guys.
What's your name?
Bob.
Bob, where are you from?
I'm now living in Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Originally from North Jersey. Met fan since '62.
Well, Bob, I'm sorry to tell you, you did not get a foul ball, but you did get on TV.
Wow.
Oh, and that's another hit. That might be a run for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 5-1 Mets.
Tyler Heineman drives the first Pirate run of the day, and it's 5-1.
Keith, we all take it.
Lead. Steve, it sounds like you're hosting an episode of Bowling for Dollars, to be quite honest.
Gary, I don't understand that reference again. Do you want me to go down and talk to this fan? If I said he's been a fan since '62, you want me to talk to him more?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hold on one
All right,
second.
O'Neal Cruz coming up with nobody out. Bassitt have been leaving balls over the plate here.
You got to chew up some clock.
Hey, Bob. The guys are very interested in me talking more to you.
Absolutely.
You say you've been a fan since '62, correct?
Well, I was a little kid down, but I do remember there was some original Mets, you know, Gil Hodges.
And that's one out. Nice play by Nito, catching a foul pop-up.
Best memory, or your most vivid memory from the early days?
My most vivid memory of all time?
Sure.
It's got to be the '69 Mets. And it's been a while since '86, so I would say to Buck, rest some of these guys because we're running out of steam here.
Hey, no,
I like that fan.
Today they're looking good, Bob. All right,
But
Bob.
I'm a little worried Atlanta never loses.
Atlanta does not lose. That is true. Bob, I'm going to give it back to the guys. You and me can keep talking, though, okay?
Thanks,
But
Steve.
Atlanta does not lose.
Thanks, Bob. It's been great hearing from you. Now,
That's
here's the
awesome.
thing, Steve. That's lined down the right field line, and that's just
Just
foul
foul ball.
Brian
Woo.
Reynolds as the Pirates suddenly getting better swings against Chris Bassitt. Steve, the most important thing to remember as an adult when you catch a foul ball is that you have to give it to a kid.
Yes.
Not to Bob, not to any of those other people who are hassling you, but you got to find a kid and give the kid the ball.
I think I had my moment in the sun. All right, I'm going to hold on to this thing for the rest of this half inning, and then I'm going to find a young kid, and I'm going to give him the baseball. Okay?
That's pretty good that you tracked it down while holding the microphone.
I mean, I'm extremely talented.
Didn't even barehanded. Went glove on a stationary ball.
Look at Steve, looks so proud.
A glove that was not broken in, by the way.
It was good to hear. It's good to hear from Bob, and I hope Steve has security on his side now.
All right, 5-1 bogey in bottom six. One out in the sixth. One on for Pittsburgh.
Meanwhile, Brian Reynolds at the plate with a 1-1 count. Reynolds is struck out and flied out. Pirates have a run home here in the sixth. And the curveball misses, and it's 2-1.
Couple hard hit balls pulled by left-hand hitters. They got the run home there. They blew the shutout.
Little mention that's the third time around the order, and these guys seeing Bassitt again. They're starting to wait on that curveball a little bit.
Okay,
And his
guys
breaking
have been
pitches.
pounding them in first 2 times through the order. Are they looking at maybe I need to start going a little bit to the outside corner? We'll keep an eye on that.
Reynolds slashes one foul. He got fortunate against Reynolds, who barely missed an extra base hit. Bullock went down the line. Bassitt was so dominant over the first 5 innings.
Come on,
Not
Chris.
just 2 singles, striking out 8, but has looked a tad more vulnerable here in the sixth. Still a relatively low pitch count on a not very hot day. Heineman at first, no threat to be running. 2-2 to Reynolds. That's hit on the ground. A chance for 2 if they
Should be a
hurry.
double play.
2 Escobar. Back
Didn't
to
get
first,
it, but
not
they
in
got the
time.
second out at second.
The shift
So
on
2
Escobar
outs.
covering second.
And a man on
Slow
first.
developing play. They got Heineman for the 4-5 put out for the second out, but Reynolds aboard.
Well, Bassitt so far that's a fastball. And remember, he started inside, working left-hand hitters, and up in the strike zone. You can see everything up. There's one. That's the cutter he's been so effective with. And there's your slow curve. And there's another curve. He's got so much in his repertoire. And he knows how to use all of his weapons. And he's been dominant today.
Come on, Chris.
Here's Rodolfo Castro with Reynolds at first and 2 out. And first pitch curveball outside for ball 1. Castro is fouled out and struck out 0 for 2. Castro, one of 4 switch hitters in the lineup for the Pirates today. Reynolds runs, curveball, thrown to second by Nino.
And he's
Not
safe.
in time.
He stole second base.
Down by
Interesting.
4 runs. You better make it, and he made it. Picked the right pitch to run on. It's Bassitt threw a curveball, and Reynolds has his 6th stolen base of the year.
You just got a good jump. And when you do that, you better make it.
So runner in scoring position with 2 out, a 1-1 count to Castro. And that cutter just missed inside, 2-1. I just want you to know we do not have the umpire mic'd up. Right, still hear him because there's nobody in the ballpark.
Right. The ballpark is very quiet.
You know,
All right, 3-1 pitch. Longest inning for Bassitt so far, pitch count wise.
These are kind of those crowds where you get 1 or 2 hecklers, and because there's no one here, you can hear them. Get someone to ride you.
We had one leather lung last night who was chirping the entire game.
Come on, Chris.
Parker. 3-1 coming, and the curveball
Ball
is
4.
inside, ball 4. So
All right.
Bassitt throwing a 3-1 curveball, and he walks Castro, his first walk of the day. And Jack Sawinski will come.
84 pitches for Bassitt now.
And in studio for a game break, Gary Apples there, brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Gary?
All right, got plenty of eyes on the Braves. They get underway in about 75 minutes with the A's. Spencer Strider on the mound for Atlanta. Last time out against the Rockies, he struck out 16.
So the A's got Ken Wolochuk. That was the guy that they got from the Yankees for Montage. So interesting.
Braves spent 147 days chasing the Mets. Finally caught them last night. Braves were up 7-1 in that game. The A's came back to tie it with some home runs. It was 9-9 before the Braves took the lead for good of the 6th, and then their bullpen held them off 10-9.
All right, Chris, come on.
2 out and 2 on for Sawinski, who struck out and popped up. And the first pitch, changeup, misses outside for ball 1. Braves took the lead on April 12th and had led every day until now.
And remember, the first 2 months of season, the Braves were just floundering. Once they
Bassitt's losing them pitches right there.
Just been playing at an incredible pace.
Meanwhile, things are starting to get away from Bassitt. He had a 5-0 lead when this inning began. He's given up a run. He's got 2 men on, and now he's behind on Sawinski 2-0. So a good time for Nito to bring the ball out.
Well, he's definitely struggling in this inning.
Since the 2nd of June, when the Mets had their largest lead in 10.5 games, the Braves have gone 63-24. Yep. It's not like the Mets have played poorly over that stretch. They haven't. They're on a 96-win pace since then, but the Braves are on a 116-win pace, which is hard to outdo.
Come on, Chris.
So now Bassitt, who has been so in command all day, needs to get settled back in and get one big out. Behind 2-0 on Sawinski. And that's
And popped it up. That's a good pitch.
2-1.
You see who started to get hot? They had benched in Atlanta was the outfielder Ozuna. He's caught fire now. He's starting to drive in runs.
So they benched.
Game is at 6:35 tonight, Steve.
Well, he wasn't hitting.
A lot of people wanted to see him released, and there was a lot of unhappiness in Atlanta that he was allowed back into the lineup, especially coming off.
Ooh, just inside. 3-1 count now.
Year. So I think a lot of people in Atlanta are of 2 minds about the fact that Ozuna is back in there, even if he's being productive. Now it's 3-1 to Sawinski. Reynolds and Castro, the base runners with 2 out. And a
Nice pitch. Full count. Runners will be moving. 5-1 Mets to bottom of the 6th. 89 pitches for Bassitt.
Chases that ball.
You're welcome, Steve. Come on, Chris.
Can't hit it. It's a blind. He's got a big hole there upstairs.
Now the runners, Reynolds at second, Castro at first will be going. 3-2, 2 out. 3-2 to Sawinski. First Bassitt takes a look around. See if he can get anybody taken off too early.
27 pitches in this inning. Going to be the 28.
Gotta be careful here. One mistake, and it could be a 5-4 ball game.
He's got a lot of power. 14 home runs this year. Third ball in the air to right.
And it's playable. Should end the inning. And it does. All right, Chris Bassitt get out of that inning. 27 pitches in that inning. Not very nice to – unfortunately, probably not going to go 8, but I would not be surprised if they throw Bassitt out there for one more inning. He's done it before. Every time he looks like he's going to be out in the 6th, he comes back in the 7th, and he pitches well. I think Bassitt will definitely come out for the 7th and you just have bullpens ready just in case. So, with that said, you got 4 hits for Pittsburgh, 1 run, and 8 strikeouts for Chris Bassitt in 6 innings. Another very good stop by Chris Bassitt once again. Mets got all their run, 4 of the 5 runs from home runs, 3-run homer by Naquin, solo homer by Escobar was back-to-back with Naquin and Escobar, and Jeff McNeil with a sac fly in the first inning to give the Mets a 1-0 lead, and that's how the Mets got the 5 runs. So, with that said, guys, going to the top of the 7th, Mets lead 5-1. Don't forget to please hit on that like button. Let's get this likes up more and more and more. Get this stream out to more baseball fans, Met fans alike. Mets are still winning by 4 runs here. Got a couple more innings to go in game 1. Obviously, tonight, 6:35, Jacob deGrom is on the mound for the Mets. Mets are looking to get back on their winning ways after losing 3 in a row, 2 to the Nationals and 1 last night to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mets need to get back on track here, continue to keep their foot on the pedal and continue to stay in first place with the Atlanta Braves. Right now we're tied. The Mets win 2 tonight. No matter what, they would be a half a game ahead, And if the Braves lose and the Mets win 2, they're a game and a half up. So it can change rather quickly in just 24 hours, guys. So it's up to the Mets. The Mets still hold the keys to the division here. Keith, I'm not streaming game 2. Unfortunately, I got to go to work. Kind of sucks, but what am I going to do? But I was thinking about leaving the stream up for game 2 while I go to work. But sometimes that can be a little difficult at work. But maybe I'll do it. I'll see. I'll put it up. Maybe I'll do it. Nimmo with a base hit to lead off the 7th inning.
Right field,
there we go.
The 7th inning begins. Nimmo attacking the first pitch from Bryce Wilson. Gets aboard to start the 7th, second hit of the day for Nimmo. And the Mets' 9th hit in this game.
Got the center a little out front, but they didn't get it away enough. I shouldn't say out front. Doesn't hit that ball. It had too much plate.
Wilson's thinking we should have the shift on against him. We would have had the second baseman in just the right place. Here's Alonso, who's 2 for 3 today.
Great, maybe. Who knows?
One down the left field.
All right, Pete Alonso on.
The other way for a base
Nobody out.
Right
1 on in the 7th.
It's been a
2 for 3 so far for Pete Alonso. Like that, he went the other way in his last at bat.
Going 0 for 4, driving into a couple of double plays, looking over anxious.
Keep that's the goal, right? That's the goal.
This is now his 6th inning. Wayne Underwood was the opener today in front of Wilson.
He's just committing too early.
KT, what's up, buddy?
And he's not in a position to hit.
Miguel Yajiri is warming up in the bullpen for the Pirates.
Miguel Yajiri is up in the bullpen for the Pirates.
Just has to let that ball get deeper. And it's
Ricardo, that's the goal, to be honest with you. And Alonso pops up. It might drop. No, it's caught by the center fielder.
Back to first, Nimmo 1 out. There's certain reasons to enjoy doing Pirate games. Coming. They've got Tucapita Marcano. I'd love to say that name. And then they've got
the Mets are 71-6 when scoring 4+ runs. That's a great record in 77 games.
Who? Chahure. Old number 89. 1 out and 1 on. Here's Lindor. He was 0 for 3, struck out and grounded out twice.
Francisco Lindor, the one guy that I want to see getting going here as well.
Getting started.
He's hit the last at bat. He hit the ball real hard to second base, but right at the second baseman.
See, but tonight,
I want to see him drive the ball here. 0 for 3 in the game. Strike out 2 ground outs.
I've got to find a spot where I can kind of lay out and take a nap in between games.
Well, it depends when this one ends.
I did not sleep well last night.
What happens if this game goes extra innings?
I don't care about that. I saw the clock at 2:30 in the morning. I was so upset.
away, and it's 0-1 to Lindor. Jeff McNeil waits on deck. Let's see with Lindor right now.
The swing is getting long, like last year from the left side, and that's why he's. I feel that if he would make his swing more compact, he would be a 300, 310, 320 hitter. But the fact that he takes that big swing, he catches up to something, and that's why he's going to hit maybe 25, 29 home runs. But he's definitely been fouling back pitches he can hit that he should be out of the box because that swing is getting long like last year. But we've seen him go through the dry periods like this before, break out red hot.
Yep. 7 hits in his last 45 at bats. And down to the count 0-2 now against Wilson. He drives this one to center field.
That's in the gap.
Retreats.
And it's right center field and made a nice catch in the gap.
Back to first.
All right, he drove the ball again. 2 hard hit balls in his last 2 at bats. So I like to see that.
Not Reynolds. That's Sawinski playing center field. Reynolds DH tonight. So 2 out, and now Jeff McNeil.
All right, Jeff, I need a base hit from you, buddy. Come on. Help my parlay out.
Keep an eye on Jeff's at bat here. Kind of inside out.
Yeah, 2 at bats. The hard hit ball to second and a hard hit ball to right center. He's driving the ball a little bit more. I like that. Putting good at bats together.
And he grounds this one. Nice play by
Damn it.
Chavis, lunging to his right.
Damn it, Jeff. You're going to ruin my parlay. All right, so the Mets didn't score 5-1, going to the bottom of the 7th. Mets lead 5-1. Nice play by the first baseman going to his right, making a diving stop and tagging first base. Yeah, I think I think it's a lot with Buck as well with Lindor, because remember Lindor and McNeil didn't like each other at all. Like it was obvious. Clearly, Buck came in when he became the manager and be like, listen, guys, you guys are going to be my double play tandem. Let's get it together. Let's be professionals. Play your game. And I think he calmed down Lindor a lot, in my opinion. Lindor's going to a cold streak. He went through a cold streak in June as well. But when he breaks out, that's when he's one of the hottest hitters in baseball. So we're just hoping he continues that once he gets out of the slump that he's going through. So if you just tuned in, guys, the Mets are leading 5-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The recap of the game so far of the scoring plays for the Mets. Sack fly got in the first run of the game for the Mets in the first inning. Tyler Naquin with a 3-run bomb to left center, giving the Mets a 4-1 lead. And right after Naquin, Escobar hits a solo home run to right field, making it 5-0. And then the Pirates just got to run the last inning in the 6th. And the Mets lead 5-1. So that's your recap for the Mets scoring for the Mets. Mets got to get back on track. We know that. Once again, they got a doubleheader today. Game 1 started at 12:35. Game 2 starts at 6:35 with Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Mets. The Mets win one of these games. They're no matter what, if they win just the game 1. Win game 1, the Braves win. Either the Mets can be a half a game up or a game and a half up, or the Braves can be a half a game up by the end of today, depending on what the Mets and the Braves do. It would be very nice if the Braves find a way to lose against Oakland and the Mets win 2 games and we gain a game and a half in one day, which would be very nice. But if the Mets win today, they're at the very least a half a game up or half a game behind. We will see. So with that said, bottom of the 7th, Bassitt on the mound again, as we always seen Bassitt do this. See if he can get out of the 7th with no problems.
That was the first pitch, back 0-1. Mitchell had
I agree,
one
Alien.
of the first 2 hits against Bassitt. In fact, he had the first hit against him.
Yeah, I need McNeil to get a hit today to get my parlay. He might get one more at bat. We'll see.
2 hits through 5 before putting up a couple of runs on 2 hits in the 6th. 1-1 to Mitchell. Michael Chavis on deck. Then Tucupita Marcano against Bassitt. Went 6 in his last start, trying to get through 7 today. It's fouled down the left field side. It's 1-2. Official 23-year-old rookie from San
Definitely,
Diego.
Jason. Definitely.
42nd game he started this year for the Pirates. He plugged in a whole lot of young players. Bassitt has gone 7 on 7 occasions this year. 8 innings was his longest start. And the curveball struck him out.
All right, nice strikeout by Bassitt. You always see this from Bassitt. He has a tough inning, and then he comes back out when nobody expects him to and do well.
That's a beautiful curveball.
No, I need McNeil to get a base hit, and then I hit my parlay. They play Seattle and then San Francisco. 7 games. Seattle 3, San Francisco 4.
Got 9 today. Here's Michael Chavis, who struck out his last time up. And he drives one deep to left field.
And that might be gone.
Track looking up, and it's
Off the
base of
wall.
Jeez. On his way to second is Chavis, and he's in standing
Wow,
with a double.
that was a shot.
Chavis thought he hit it to the next county. Track power.
That's a long way out to left field, especially back in the gap there where it ducks away to 410 right next to the bullpen.
What's he looking at?
Oh, that's not good. Come on, man.
We'll see, Keith. You never know.
That ball just made it to the base of the wall. So Chavis has his 14th double of the year. Here's Marcano, and he hits it sharply right
to second base, shortly, 2 outs.
To third, but with a 4-run lead, right, sure to get the sure out at first base.
Absolutely.
Might have had a chance at Chavis, but no sense taking that gamble.
He definitely had him, but you know what? You said it, Garrett. McNeil knows what he's doing out there. Get the sure out.
So 2 out. Seth Lugo, first man up in the Mets bullpen. Well, these last couple of innings, there have been some really hard-hit balls against Bassitt. I'm just trying to get through the 7th against Greg Allen, who had one of those hard-hit balls, a leadoff double in the 6th. Then he smoked down the right field line, and he scored the only Pittsburgh run in this game. Chris about to throw his 99th pitch of the day with Chaves at third and 2 out.
All right, 2 outs, 99 pitch for Bassitt.
It's 1-1. So this will be the 11th time this year that Bassitt will throw 100 or more pitches in a game. That's more than he had the last 2 years combined. Swinging a
Strike 2, nice pitch.
Fastball. And now it's 1-2.
$100 pitches for Chris Bassitt. Could only be 101.
It's been a very positive day for Chris Bassitt. Not trying to put this 7th inning to bed. One-two to Allen.
Strike 3. Nice outing by Chris Bassitt. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts for Chris Bassitt. 1 run, 5 hits on the day. This is what Chris Bassitt has done all year. When you think he's done after that last inning and he should be out of the game, most pitchers would be out of the game. But for some reason, Chris Bassitt comes back out the next inning and shuts it down. It's absolutely amazing. And he's been our most consistent pitcher all season long. And who knows where this team would be without Chris Bassitt. And you got to give him a lot of credit. So once again, 1 run, 5 hits, 10 strikeouts for Chris Bassitt in 7 innings. The performance that the Mets desperately needed, and the offense came alive with 5 runs with still 2 more innings to go. It's a big win if the Mets can take care of business here, man. And it would be, I think, a mental hurdle the Mets could get past, and I think it would help them out a lot going into Game 2 tonight. So let's make it happen. Lugo for the 8th, maybe Ottavino for the night. In my opinion, I put Diaz out there. He hasn't pitched in a while. I think you got to get Diaz in the game to get him going a little bit. because he hasn't pitched in 5 days, almost a week. So I would get him out there. Lugo will probably come in next inning, but we'll see what we can do. But man, oh man, this is what the Mets team needed badly. This game's 2 hours long, and we're going to the 8th inning. So I like a quick game with a Mets win. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in and talking Mets and Rob live stream here. Mets versus Pirates live right here. The Mets are playing in Pittsburgh right now at PNC Park. Mets 3-game loser streak hopefully can come to an end today with a win today in this afternoon game in Game 1 and Game 2 in the nightcap with DeGrom on the mound. Exactly what we needed. Chris Bassitt just pitched another excellent game that we need. And let's see if DeGrom can continue that and the Mets can finish out this game with a victory that guarantees them, at the very least, being a half a game up or a half a game behind, depending on what the Braves do. But if the Mets win both games, they're at least a half a game up. Braves lose, Mets win both games, and a half up in just 24 hours. So with that said, guys, 150 in the stream right now. Don't forget to please hit on that like button. Please take a second to hit on that like button. And if you're new to the channel, new subscribers, say what's up and let me know where you're from. The Mets are going to the top of the 8-5-1 Mets. See if the Mets can add on a couple of more runs here with Vogie leading off.
His legend ensued from there. Daniel
Vogelback pops up the first pitch.
Neil Cruz.
Ooh, 1 out.
To Allen, who nearly messed up the play.
Hey, Robert, how you doing?
That's the first out. That was the scorecard from that day. Clemente picked up his 3,000th hit. Gene Klein, Stock Ellis, Sid Magon.
Let's see, Doc went 6 innings.
Johnson, that Bob Johnson. Here's the great one, Clemente.
I don't think it was Bob. No, I'm not sure. Stennett was just coming up then.
Let's see, Clemente signed that scorecard.
Richie Zisk was young then coming up.
And Marquetta drives one.
Allen retreating. And
nice catch by the left fielder. 2 outs. Allen.
2 out. So Miguel Chapoure has come in and retired the first 2.
Yep, at the moment they're tied.
Well, the numbers only tell part of the story about Clemente, who had to deal
Let's go. Let's get to 100 likes, guys. Let's go.
Racial bias, who had great humanitarian sensibilities long before his passing. He was just a great man in every respect.
Very strong arm in right field, the 12 gold gloves.
Tyler Naquin up with 2 outs in the 8th.
There is a movement afoot in Major League Baseball to retire Clemente's number 21 alongside Jackie Robinson's number 42. I think it's going to happen at some point. I'm not sure where the tipping point for that is going to be. Now that Naquin has the biggest hit of the
Robert,
3-run homer.
They haven't passed us yet. So until they do, the Mets are still in first place.
My dreams of writing about Roberto Clemente. Throwing and running and hitting at something close to the level of absolute perfection.
He also, when he ran, he was fast. He galloped when he ran.
He was a good bat ball hitter.
He was a good any ball hitter.
Yeah, like playing the game almost as if it were a form of punishment for everyone else on the field.
Well, I told you my father was a San Francisco fireman. Got detailed to a Giant game in Candlestick Park, and he came home, and I remember he mentioned to Gary and I as kids. He said he was behind home plate, and Clemente got jammed by a Giant pitcher and hit a little dribbler back to the pitcher. And he said Clemente ran out of that box like a bat out of hell, all the way to first base. He said he'll never forget that. It was just an easy out, and that really impressed my father.
if you think he's a legend here,
Well, Robert,
Puerto Rico, he's
each one of those teams got to get out of the division series before we talk about the NLCS.
Reason the right field fence here at PNC Park is 21 feet high.
Naquin pops up, shallow, they might fall, and it does for a base hit.
Got his second hit of the day.
Second hit for Tyler Naquin, 2 for 4 on the day. So 2-out hit. I get Naquin another start. Why not?
A loop and a blast for Naquin. Blast and a loop.
Like a perfect 9-iron. Just laid it right up on the green. Look at me talking.
An L wedge.
Also, hooray, the former Yankee in his 9th game now for the Pirates this year. Facing Escobar has had another big day, single and a home run for Eduardo.
All right, Eddie, let's go. See if Eduardo Escobar can get another home run here. Have another big – I want to see a great at-bat from this guy again. 2 for 3, single and a solo home run.
16 with 3 home
Went back-to-back with Naquin a few innings ago.
About as good a stretch as he's had all year, including his cycle in San Diego. He takes it on the corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Chris Bassitt, 7 solid innings. Looks like he's done for the day. Seth Lugo getting ready for the bottom of the 8th. Meanwhile, Jahuri is the 3rd Pittsburgh pitcher of the day. Dwayne Underwood was the opener. Allowed a run in the 1st. Bryce Wilson went 6. He allowed 4 runs and 7 hits. For only 77 pitches in 6 innings. And Escobar swinging and missing at a fastball. It's 1-2. When he first came up with the Yankees in 2020, he was 24 years old. It's another one.
Bullshit, and the inning, and it does. Going to the bottom of the 8th, Mets will lead 5-0. I agree, guys. So the Mets going to the bottom of the 8th, 5-1. Mets still leading in the game. Mets looked a lot better offensively in this ball game, and Bassitt with a really nice performance once again. Not surprising. Chris Bassitt has been one of the most consistent pitchers all year. When we needed a big performance, he basically got it. And Bill, exactly. It's not about just the runs. Obviously, the runs matter, but it's just the difference. It's just the difference of the at-bats. Everybody had really good at-bats tonight. You know, even today, Lindor hit 2 balls really hard. He's trying to drive the ball a little bit. Alonso started going the opposite way. He's 2 for 4. Naquin's 2 for 4. A lot of good at-bats from the team. I like to see that. The number next to the Mets. What are you talking about, buddy? Here. Roof. What's the 5 mean? That's the runs, buddy. So the Mets look better offensively. Bassitt with a dominant performance, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, 5 hits, and 1 run. That's a performance that you needed from somebody going forward. You know, Walker looked terrible. You know, Carrasco didn't look good. Scherzer had to come out in the 5th. It just the last 3 days was just a tough one for Mets fans. But guess what? We can get right back on track here with this ball game. And, you know, with DeGrom going tonight, you got to win both of these games. McNeil is not due up yet. Let's see. Who's up? Who is up? Let's see. So Escobar got out. He might not get up next inning unless the Mets make a couple hits. Seth Lugo is coming into the game in the 8th inning. See if he can take care of business in the bottom of the 8th.
It was that much of a sure thing.
No, that was a sure thing. Minus 17,000. You have to bet $17,544 to win 100 that I would not. That I would catch a ball.
Oh, Steve, you can afford it. You can take a chance.
Line to center field off the mound. Tyler Hyndman. And in comes
Nice
Nimmo
play
to
by
try to
Nimmo.
make the catch.
Coming in to dive and catch.
Gorgeous
Nice
by
play.
Nimmo and the barrel roll to boot. And that's the way Seth Lugo gets his first out.
Just a little bit of hesitate. Top of your screen, watch Nimmo. Broke back and now comes in. Now one step back, and that's what made it. Great recovery.
Right in the heel of the glove and held on.
Beautiful roll. There you go.
We've seen a big catches going back. Now catch coming in to help out Lugo, who starts the 8th inning. Now
Yeah, I might lose my parlay on that. And of course, you know, I got the Mets winning. If the Brewers win and the Rays win, well, that's an even bigger parlay. So, what are you gonna do?
101 pitches.
If I would have put Naquin instead of McNeil, I would have got my parlay.
Last outing was last Friday, the opening game of the series with Washington. He worked the 9th inning.
Yeah, Nimmo has been excellent, like surprisingly.
Bruce is 1 for 3
defensively.
today. Had an infield hit in the 4th against Bassitt.
Nice pitch. 1-2 count to O'Neal Cruz.
Foul ball, so makes it velocity. It goes sports night after the second game, post game. So that's quite a few hours from now. Zach Wilson pushed back. Steve, is there trouble with jet lag? That's line toward
Line
the
drive,
Cruz,
base
that's the
hit.
second hit of the day. So Lugo left slider in the middle of the plate, and Cruz is 2 for 4.
Impressive again. He's got himself a nice little swing. That is well done. This kid has a bright future.
So 1 out and 1 on, 2 hard hit balls against Lugo to start his tenure. And here's Brian Reynolds, who's gone 0 for 3 today. Struck out, flied out, hit into a fielder's choice. The fastball away to Reynolds, ball 1.
Victor, that's going to be pretty cool. Cool matchup for sure. Power against power.
With a 0. Now Buck will approach the 9th. With another
Yeah, Keith, that would be really annoying if McNeil is the only one that stopped me from getting a couple $100 on a parlay for $10.
And fastball strike to Reynolds, 1-1. And another fastball.
Nice fastball.
Strike, and it's 1-2. After we're done here, after the first game, it's PointsBet post-game live.
Christian, thank you, buddy. Keep on coming back for more, man. I'm glad I can help you out.
6 o'clock. And then another PointsBet post-game live on day in the office for Gary Apple. And, you know, I'm wondering, does Gary leave the suit and tie on for the entirety of the day? Does he loosen the tie at some point?
Oh,
You know, Gary's very buttoned up,
well, but he's off camera,
right?
so he can loosen up the tie.
Does he take off the jacket too? 2-2, fly ball out to left.
Fly ball
And
should be
Cannon
number
moves
2.
toward the line.
2
And
outs.
he's got it 2 out.
I'll have to ask him.
Does he make like Kramer and take the pants and hang them over the chair?
No, he wouldn't do that. No, he wouldn't do that. No, that's a
Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Everybody's telling me to push on that like button, so please hit on that, please. Let's take a second to hit on that like button.
I mean, we're sitting here in our very comfortable SNY polos, so it's very easy for us in our casual mode to make it through a very long day.
You think these shirts are comfortable?
No, but I'm just, you know, kind of sucking up to the bosses.
They don't breathe.
I mean, they're They're not the worst.
Thank you, Christian.
Bad worse.
We walked home last night, and we can't walk over the Clemente Bridge. We have to go over the Borehall Bridge, the next bridge over.
It's a whole block away.
It's a whole block away, and it was a longer walk. I got into my room. I had to take a shower. It was sticky.
It really wasn't that hot last night.
No, it wasn't. I was surprised that I was sticky.
Guys, I just want to go back to the Gary Apple conversation. I have a source, that source being Gary Apple, who said, jacket loosened, tie loosened, pants on.
And we're all
I'll
happy
check
for
too.
that. Well, he obviously doesn't play pool with Frank Costanza. So.
If Gary pulled that one, it'd be reported to HR in a hurry.
That would put the new HR person in a very difficult spot. Very early in her tenure, we wouldn't want that.
Paige would be
Just getting her feet on the ground, you know.
We just met Paige.
1-2 to Castro, and the slider misses 2-2.
And it wasn't because we were calling the carpet.
No.
Well, Keith, I'm developing some merchandise now, so
Intro to HR.
I'll probably do a channel shirt giveaway soon.
And
but I am
with you.
fixing up my new merchandise website, so soon it'll be live, and I'll let you guys know. I'll post it in the
2-2 to Castro.
in the channel page, and I'll also put it on. I'll pin the message for the link, so if anybody wants to buy a channel logo shirt, you can. Different colors, different sweatshirts, hoodies, mugs, phone cases, all that fun stuff.
Castro's 0 for 2 in a walk today.
And he strikes him out.
What a strike 3 call.
All right, Seth. There we go.
Looking for it.
So going to the top of the ninth, Mets lead 5-1. Chris Bassitt, 7 solid innings. Lugo came in with a clean 8th inning, and we're going to the ninth. It is 2:57. This game is about 2.5 hours long, which is pretty damn good considering how long baseball games are. I think Lugo is back. Ever since that Yankee series after the All-Star break at Citi Field, no doubt, he's been one of the better bullpen arms with Ottavino. Helen, we'll see. Yeah, it's mostly the broadcast. Obviously, the video, the pictures, and the quality is excellent. But they've been doing a little bit better of a job getting whoever's the home team, getting announcers that are situated with the team, which is a better idea than what they had. So, once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We got one more inning to get it done. 100 likes. Let's get it done. Let's go. Mets lead 5-1 going to the top of the ninth. See if the Mets, I just want to see better quality at bats. Robert, we just did. Again, the Dodgers choke all the time in the playoffs. They do it every year. 2020 is a formality. Come on, Robert. Got to be more realistic than that. I mean, the Dodgers are the Braves of the 90s, winning division titles every year and only looking at one world championship. Yeah, okay, Robert's fine. The Dodgers can't beat the Mets in the postseason. They haven't since '88. Again, it can change this year, but you want to go back how many years? So we're just waiting for the commercial then, and then it does. Going to the top of the night. Don't forget, September 17th, Gary Cohen, bobblehead. The 3 of 3 of the Gary Keith and Ron bobblehead.
Series
That's fine. I'll take that every day of the week, Robert.
Tickets.
Think Bob will be there.
I think Medina's going to get claimed, to be honest with you. It's an arm that a lot of people like.
Bob. What about Bob?
Bob from Jersey.
Well, yeah, of course, because the Braves are playing better. That's all.
Remember everything about him. Bob, you think he'll be there on September 17th.
Like I said, everybody can just continue to give no credit to the Mets. Let the Mets be the underdog. The Mets probably be the underdog against the Braves in the postseason, against the Dodgers in the postseason, and I'll take it every time. Nito strikes out in 3 pitches.
And that's the first out of the top of the ninth. Well, there is nobody up at present in the Mets bullpen, which makes you believe that perhaps Seth Lugo is going to be asked to work the last.
Steve, I agree, but facts are facts. Like, you can't say, oh, the postseason's different. Just like history doesn't matter last year with the Braves, doesn't mean the Mets can't beat the Dodgers again, and doesn't mean the Dodgers can't beat the Mets this time.
More reluctant to do with Lugo working 2 innings.
So 1 out in the ninth, 5-1 Mets. Nimmo is up. 2 for 4 for Nimmo today.
Given the fact there's nobody up.
Big home run yesterday and 2 singles today, 2 for 4. Because LA gives the most money. That's easy, and they make very good trades.
So it's been almost 3 months since he's worked 2 innings. 17 pitches he threw in the 8th.
Come on, people don't come to LA because the Dodgers are good. They come to LA because they pay the most money. Just like every other player is going to go to a team that pays the most money.
First single to right in the 7th, 2 for 4 after a 2-run homer last night.
Yeah, playoffs every year, but no world championships. 2020, Come on, Robbie, you're not being realistic right now. You're not. They come for the money. Every player goes for the money. The same reason why A-Rod went to Texas, for the money, right?
Well, that Brave game is going to start in around 35 minutes.
Well, you can spend your between games time watching that game if you wish. Correct.
And that's a strikeout.
Goes down the
2 strikeouts.
And it's back-to-back strikeouts for Hooray to start the 9th. 2 out.
Then if that's the case, why does nobody go to St. Louis? Why does nobody go to the Yankees all the time now? Look, you give this player the most money, they're going to that team.
Yeah, that's one of the guys that
Ken, you always come with the comments.
Ken Waldchuk.
Pete Alonso up. 2 outs in the ninth, 5-1 Mets. Yeah, you already got some nasty stuff for sure.
We're just playing at a torrid pace. Since that 4 or 5, the Mets won from them at home.
Ball 2.
That was that series ended on August.
I need Alonso to get on base here for McNeil. I need Lindor and Alonso to get on if McNeil comes back.
5 baseball, which is over 800. And Mets with a win here today will have played 16.
I mean, honestly though, who have the Dodgers actually signed? To be honest, I mean, they traded for Mookie Betts. They traded for Tate Turner. They finally signed Freeman, which was very interesting anyway, for the most part. But they outbid the Braves. That's why they got Freeman. So money talks, guys. Money talks.
3-0 swing and a miss by Alonso. 3-1. He's got a single.
No, I just think the guy who throws heat. He's throwing strikes.
Hooray trying to finish off a second scoreless inning. Alonso grounds 1 foul, and it's 3-2. Tonight, game 2 of the doubleheader. Jacob deGrom makes his 7th start of the season. Johan Oviedo, the former Cardinal, who's been working mostly out of the bullpen this year.
Yeah, and then Kevin Brown went to the Yankees.
Back to being a starter,
so it's all about the money. It's not because of playoff team. Trust me, it's not. And Alonso strikes out, going to the bottom of the ninth. Mets looking to snapping the 3-game losing streak and getting a victory in game 1 of the doubleheader. Again, Robert, you're not listening. I don't think you want to pay attention today. You're usually pretty good. I don't know what's up today. St. Louis makes the playoffs every year. The Yankees make the playoffs every year. I don't see every free agent going. And again, Robert, you got to remember, the Dodgers have made a lot of trades to bring people in. Not a lot of people saw. Why didn't Scherzer stay? Because the Mets gave him the most money. Why did Freeman go to the Dodgers? The Braves make the playoffs every year. because the Dodgers gave the most money. Mookie Betts was traded, and they extended him. No, if you listen to the last couple of information that came out, the Braves lied about their contract. The Braves weren't outbidding for Freddie outbidding the Dodgers. It wasn't happening. And we all know Freddie Freeman went to the Dodgers because the Dodgers gave him more money. That's all. There's no other reason why. If the Braves would have gave more, Freddie Freeman would be a Brave, and Matt Olson would probably still be on another team because Oakland was going to trade him. It's very simple. Money talks. The same reason why Aaron Judge is probably not going to be a Yankee, because somebody's going to outbid the Yankees. Either it's going to be the Giants, either it's going to be the Mets, which I doubt. And listen, big reason why the Dodgers should have won more World Series is, one, because their manager, two, because every time your best pitcher in baseball, Clayton Kershaw, showed up, he choked in the playoffs. And 2020, and we want to talk about 2020 to the cows go home. I don't look at the stats for 2020. I don't care about the awards for 2020. And 2020 is basically a faulty year. The one year the Dodgers actually win a World Series is a year there's only 60 games in the season. Again, the fans can still run their flags, their shirts, all that stuff, because every fan base would. But it's not a real season. Sorry. I don't think anybody outbids the Mets for DeGrom if the Mets really want to keep DeGrom. Seth Lugo's pitching the second inning for the ninth.
It's 1-1 to Sawinski, who was struck out, popped up, and flied out today. Cal Mitchell on deck, then Michael Chavis in the last of the ninth.
How can you take a 2020 season seriously, a playoff season, championship seriously in 2020 when you didn't have to travel? You played in the same ballpark. You didn't have to go to a road ballpark. It's a lot easier. And pop-up should be the first out of the ninth.
Should have it.
One out.
One out. One of the best coverage in the game. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage camp. Big hit. That's up 1-0. And Tyler Naquin getting the start with Starling Marte hurt. Unloads a 3-run homer. His first in 4 weeks. And his 11th of the year to put the Mets up 4-0, and they have not looked back from there. Eduardo Escobar followed with a home run. Chris Bassitt, 7 solid innings. And now Lugo trying to put on the finishing touches with 2 outs to go. Cal Mitchell's 1 for 3, singled and struck out twice. And he tops one foul on a curveball, 0-1.
Very interesting using Lugo for 2 innings, because he's not going to be available for tonight's game, probably tomorrow's game, and probably the first 2 games of the Miami Marlins series.
It was the rather innocuous year of 1972, when the Mets had a pretty good team, but went nowhere.
Well, Eric, I wouldn't go that far.
Never had a 4-game
They're good.
Streak that year, and they have not had one yet this year. And
I mean, it would be ironic. Everybody's saying the Mets, the Astros, the Braves, the Dodgers. I guarantee you not one of them is going to win the World Series. Watch it be some team like the Mariners or the Cardinals or the Brewers or the Padres. Oh, yeah, the Mets are off tomorrow. Yeah, you're right. That's right, travel day. The Mets are 74-0 leading after 8 innings. That's a pretty good record.
Against the Twins. 1-2 coming. Fastball
just inside.
2-2. Yankees start the day with a 4.5-game lead over Rays, who beat the Red Sox last night. Tampa Bay's 22-10 since the 4th of August. Getting a ton of ground. 2-2 coming.
Ground ball right to Lugo. Should be 2 outs, and it is.
For the second out. So Seth making it look easy. And the Pirates are down to their final line of the afternoon. Don't forget another game.
Look, if DeGrom could show he can stay healthy the rest of the season and through the playoffs, the Mets are going to sign him. If DeGrom wants to be here, the Mets are going to give him the most money. Very simple. All right, final out. 5-1 Mets, 2 outs, 9th inning. Lugo, 26 pitches.
We're going to double his last time up, which he thought was going out of the ballpark, but did not.
Ground ball up the middle for a base hit.
Second hit of the day. This time he ran hard at first because he knew it wasn't going out.
That's right. Just a slider that didn't do anything.
The Pirates have their 7th hit, and they have a 2-out base runner tonight. And that's Peter Marcano, who's now 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a strikeout. And Edwin Diaz is going to start tossing very lightly in the bullpen, just on the off chance that he is needed. He will not start throwing hard until he knows he's needed. The idea is to have Edwin ready for the nightcap tonight. On the other hand, can't let this one get away. The thing about Edwin, once he starts revving, he needs about 6 pitches to be ready. Win a Marcano when it's 1-1.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to be the highest paid pitcher. It's very simple with DeGrom.
The old days.
Joe, I think Epler's going to go all in for Ohtani, to be honest with you. And I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Marcano takes the curveball out of the strike zone. It's 2-1.
You know, we just assume Ohtani's going to be as good as he was with the Angels coming to New York with all the pressure. He didn't want to go to the Yankees. That's why he went to the Angels. And the Yankees tried everything they can to get him. And they didn't get him because he didn't want to go there.
2-1 coming.
2-2. One more strike.
Striking out, the Pirates are down to their final strike. And that gets the Met fans here in Pittsburgh to their feet. Two and 2 to Marcano.
Fly ball should end the game, and Nemo makes the out. Put it in the books. There we go, guys. Once again, guys, the New York Mets don't have more than a 3-game losing streak all year. It was their 3rd 3-game losing streak of the year. Didn't make it their first 4-game losing streak of the year. The Mets are back on track in the win column. The Mets are 86 and 51 on the season, according to Mr. Met. Mets got another game tonight. Jacob deGrom on the mound. Mets win tonight. They're guaranteed to be at least a half a game up in the division. And if the Braves lose, it'll be a game and a half. Mets win 5-1, 86 and 51 record, 5 runs, 10 hits for the Mets, 1 run, 7 hits for the Pirates. Nice to see Bassitt, another strong outing. What else is new? Nate Quinn, 2 for 4. Alonso, 2 for 4. Nimmo, 2 for 4. A lot of guys got hits, a lot of good at-bats. Let's see if the A's can score a lot of runs again today, and maybe they can actually pitch a little bit better. See if the game should start in about 20 minutes or so, Braves and Oakland. You never know what can happen. Again, Braves barely skeeved that one out. They were up 7-1 and almost lost that ball game. So maybe Oakland can score a lot more runs today and see what happens. Mets back on the winning ways. Game 2, 6:35 tonight. And I think the Mets are going to take this win, get a sigh of relief, and kick some ass tonight with Jacob deGrom on the mound. So once again, guys, Mets win 5-1. I will not be doing the game tonight. Work, unfortunately. But root on deGrom. Let's get another win. Let's win 2 in a row. Win 2 in a row. Win the doubleheader. Guaranteed half a game lead in the division. Braves lose, it'll be a game and a half. So see if the Mets can take care of business again tonight with deGrom on the mound. I'll see everybody next time, probably during the Miami series. Tomorrow will be a Mets Talk Live on the off day. And we will talk Mets baseball, obviously. So once again, Mets 5, Pirates 1. Good job by the Mets offense. Good job by Chris Bassitt. deGrom better take care of business tonight. And the offense better score some damn runs for him. See you guys next time. Everybody have a good day. Have a good game 2. Let's go Mets. See you next time, guys.